So I decided to go ahead and attempt this 4 mile walk that I do, and I was cruising along. Everything was going fine. I was going to make it easy. I wasn't going very fast. I don't walk that fast anyway. But it isn't like I'm looking like I'm walking around the track at Century Village. About 2.5 miles into it, and I kind of know all the measuring points, right? Because you're thinking, okay, geez, I got like another 1.6 miles to go. Now it's 1.5. I measured this out in my car with my archaic methods. I don't wear one of those watches or anything. I don't need to know my sperm count while I'm working out. I just don't need to know that. Oh, what was that? Lubie 0.0.
I was going to say you still have it confused.
Big, fat, round number. You can draw that right there on the board. What chance do you have here of agreeing with Ron DeSantis on his gun?
The time. Wake up with Defo, joined by Lubie. Welcome to the Defo Show.
And a very pleasant good morning, everybody, on this fine Thursday. It's the Defo Show here on South Florida Live, our new channel that Lubie created out of nothing. He literally hatched this thing, and it's fantastic. And already moving and grooving. Appreciate all the people that are logging on and sharing our posts on Facebook about the new South Florida Live. And great to be with you, especially since live is the key word today. I have double barrel action going in the bullpen here, Mike Lubitz, and you know how much I love having live sporting action while on the air in Morning Drive in an Eastern Standard Time. It's not a common occurrence. Usually, well, of course, you have the tennis going on in Europe leading up to Wimbledon. You have a couple of grass court tournaments going on. Fantastic action last night. And I think I told you, Lubie, as we were signing off yesterday. And by the way, how are you on Mike Lubitz? I always love the very beginning of things because there's a lot of confusion right before we start. And then all of a sudden, everything just falls into place. It's a beautiful thing. But how are you on this fine Thursday, my friend?
Wonderful. How are you doing, Mr. Tennis?
I'm great. I mean, I'm feeling really good. Although I did have to, I finally threw in a towel and took a day off from the walk of life after, I think, really testing the, the ability of this Synvic or whatever it was that was injected into my knee to produce the miracle results. That it's almost like Ernest Angley took care of my knee, where you're expecting a miracle. You're literally expecting to walk out of the doctor's office and start kicking field goals for the Jets, which this is another oddity. Just throw in a parenthetical here before we get going on the golf and the tennis and all the other stuff that's happening in sports, including an overtime thriller in Manila between the Colorado Avalanche and the Tampa Bay Lightning. Just when you're ready to count the Lightning out, they come back in, and in this case, though, they did lose in overtime last night to the Avalanche, 1-0. But Jim Sarney sent me a note. The great Jim Sarney, of course, longtime sports writer for the South Florida Sun-Sentinel and a friend of all shows that we do, which we greatly appreciate because this guy was like a media critic. So if he likes what we're doing, I consider that like beyond an honor of great esteem. Because most media critics tend to be cynical about the people that they write about and negative about, not negative necessarily, but they're more hypercritical than even I would be of my own work, which, you know me, Lubie, I don't like to listen to anything back because when I hear it, I go, oh my God, what the hell was that? Although, with some of the shows that we've been doing lately, I don't mind listening back, and I'm thinking, that was fucking funny. That was all right. That's what we're trying to do. But Jim sent me a note that you know who's getting the most steam right now to win the Super Bowl in the National Football League?
Tampa?
The most steam to win the Super Bowl.
Got to be the Bucks.
Well, I mean, they may be a short price, but the team whose odds has dropped the most significantly, you're not going to believe this, Lubie, the New York Jets.
What?
The New York Jets Super Bowl price went from 200 to 1. Now, I don't know how much money it would take to knock this price down from 200 to 1 to 100 to 1, but you would have to think if you're talking about a universal spectrum of degenerate gamblers and possible Jet fans. Now, the Jet fans themselves don't believe they're going to win the Super Bowl. You know that. They know that they are facing imminent ruin and catastrophe, that in all likelihood, Zach Wilson, if he doesn't throw 5 picks in the first game, will probably be carried off on a stretcher. Not that we're wishing that, because I'm kind of rooting for the kid to be decent. And I don't know. Do I still have a little bit of that green that you find inside the lobster through my bloodstream here, Lubie? A little bit of jet green in there. I wouldn't mind seeing them get themselves off the proverbial mat, right? And being bottom dwellers for so many years. It hurts my early Jet pride that I had. But I'm not going to be aggravated one way or the other, whatever happens. But 200 to 1 down to 100 to 1. So they've dropped the odds in half. Now, nobody was betting on the Jets, obviously, at 200 to 1. So somebody sent some money in. What was it? Was it the Sheik? Was it this guy that Biden's going to meet? Was it Phil Mickelson is a Jet fan? Is that what we found out, that Phil is sending it in on the Jets? And it seems kind of improbable that would happen because based on what? Eric, the Jet fan, is on hold here, and we can put him on the show.
We have a call. We have like an actual
deviation from the norm.
We haven't had a call.
Well, we haven't asked for any, and I wasn't even sure what our capabilities were in this regard.
We always have calls, yeah. I mean, you can give out the number.
So
people don't seem to want to do that.
Lubie, Eric, was it your money that knocked him down? I know you're doing well. I mean, you were bordering on retirement. Where are you, Eric? How the hell are you? Good to hear from you, my friend.
What's going on, Defo? I think last time I talked to you, I had no kids, just got engaged in the national park, didn't own a house. Now I have 3 kids, 2 stepchildren, 1 newborn, and I bought a house. And I just took out the garbage, something I never thought.
A lot has happened for you.
Hey, welcome to life, from like 37 on, or whatever that is. Yeah. How are you, man? You were looking good before all of this. I mean, do you still look the same? Are we going to see you somewhere, like at a racetrack or a parimutuel facility one day, punching away and say, what the hell happened to you? Or are you still thriving?
That's one of the reasons why I'm also calling as well, to make my return. And, I've been very loyal to you,
yes,
and to Lubie. And I just wanted to say, I love you guys, and I'm back. And
I appreciate it, my friend.
I've been working from home for the past 2 years. With the baby and stuff. I just wanted to apologize to you guys that I haven't been more connecting to you, and I haven't been.
That's okay. We've been all over the map.
Thanks for finding us, my friend.
We've had jobs, lost jobs, started up things with people, dumped them. I mean, it's been helter skelter. I mean, it's Vincent Bugliosi time. Yeah.
But back to your question. On the Jets.
Yeah,
I was able to save some money, and yes, there is a lot of money of the Garcia household on the New York Jets to win the Super Bowl this year.
No, don't forget about the babies and the new house payment, which, if you're on a flexible mortgage, that's about to skyrocket. I want to show you this, though. And now, are you watching the video stream or just listening on audio, Eric?
He's watching.
You're watching? Okay.
I'm on the YouTube, brother. I'm the Easy E guy. I had to explain it to Lubie because I don't like to put my real name on the YouTube. So
can you see that picture? You know who that is?
Because of Becton? Is that what it is?
Melky Becton.
Yep. That's me. Yeah, that's me with my fingers sticking out. Yeah.
Well, he's got a shirt on, and it's great. I mean, you wish more athletes would take this approach to the criticism that they faced. And I know Melky Becton, obviously was a first round pick, got a lot of money. He had a great rookie year and then got hurt in week number 1 last year. Thought it was going to be a 4 to 8 week stint that he was going to be on the injured list. He never came back the entire season. People thought he had ballooned up to Butterbean-esh type proportions, maybe even bigger than that. But he wore a shirt that says, the big part of the print says "Big Bust," and it's circled by words that he's heard discussed with regards to his play. And he's got fat, out of shape. I mean, all of these different things. And he faces the press while wearing this shirt, saying, hey, go ahead, take your shots, guys. I'm ready to play. So that's a good sign, is it not? That Becton might be ready to go.
It's a great sign. We need our offensive line has been retooled this year, Defo and Lubie, and spent a lot of money into the offensive line. And we're still looking into getting some more depth. We bought Riley Reef, an ex-first round pick, into camp a couple weeks ago, and so Douglas is still talking to offensive linemen because we still don't know about Becton. I want to be positive. It's my new outlook in life. Ever since I gained 3 children, trying to be positive in life.
You pick up 3 kids in one shot. I mean, that's not an easy assignment, my friend. If you're churning them out one at a time, it's rough enough if you get to 3. Yeah.
Defo, we've hung out many times. I go hard. I don't. My mile per hour I don't do 10 miles per hour. I go 100.
No,
you're
from 0 to 3.
You go all in. You're Johnny Chan when it comes to these sort of things, my friend. All in with a bluff.
But I've had a new game. I had a new thought process when it comes to New York Jets. It's family first, sports last, and so I'm not going to take it so serious anymore because well, it's just a game. It's just sports. I love it.
I've been telling Lubie this for 12 years.
Let's try it.
Lubie was ready to snap when it was 1-0 in a Heat game. 1-0.
We'll get to our Marlins talk because you know why I'm calling because of that.
Yeah,
because of that game yesterday. You know what I mean? That game yesterday.
It's like 2 out of 3 they got walked off in Philadelphia. That was ugly, man. What's up with the bullpen, my friend?
Oh Jesus,
the bullpen is not looking good. There's a couple guys in there that are good, but Donnie Baseball doesn't know how to manage them. He doesn't know how to manage Mel Stoudemire. And we're going back to this all over again with Donnie Baseball. I've forgiven him.
I thought you loved
Donnie
Baseball.
Doing the same old mistakes over and over again.
All right, well, he's I thought you loved Donnie Baseball.
No, we love Donnie Baseball. Eric's very hard on him.
We love Donnie Baseball. Yeah, you were always saying that
the pitching bothers him. He hates how he handles the pitch.
All right. Well, obviously, he didn't handle it well in 2 of the 3 games in Philly. You know what amazed me? That the Marlins actually bounced back in a game because I'm not used to that. I was watching the game the other night. I turned it off when it was 8-4, and I fully expected the final to be like 11-4 Philly. And the fact that they won, I thought, wow, okay, maybe there is something to this. And then they turn right back around and in disgusting fashion lose a game after another, very, very favorable starting pitching performance. It's a shame what's happening with Alcantara, even though he's 6-2. But, this kid Costanza, I mean, is it George Costanza that was on the mound yesterday? The guy from...
Daniel
Costanza, there you go. Yeah, George was obviously a character in a television show,
Pablo
Seinfeld.
Lopez, what about Pablo? Pablo was on a nice little run, and now he's injured. And so we're back into the same thing again with him. You know what I mean?
He got hit by a ball or something, didn't he? Yeah, I mean, it's hard to blame him for that one. But I think he's only going to miss this one start that he was supposed to make yesterday.
Well, when our pitching staff, Defo is one of the best in the league. We expect them to do this in and out, but our bats need to wake up. It's not waking up whenever they feel like it. You know what I mean? It's let's be awake all the time. And to me, it feels like they keep on going back to the minor leagues trying to figure out how to get this thing together. I know that the spring training was a short-end spring training with the strike and everything, and they couldn't get in a rhythm. But it feels like they're still not in a rhythm. I know they had that nice winning streak in the beginning of the year. We're still fresh. We haven't gotten into July yet, which means it's the halfway point with the All-Star game. But they feel like they're off. They're not clicking on all cylinders.
They never do.
I mean, handling the pitching staff.
Look at the bottom line. The bottom line is even after that nice run they had. Yeah, but they're 5 games under 500. Yeah, in June.
Yeah, they were looking good. They were looking good, and then they had that losing streak. The losing of the 1-run games that we've been had nightmares of for the past 5 years. You know what I mean? We've lost the most 1-run games in baseball.
That'll be the case this year too.
Those
probably.
Hurt,
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, they had at one point. Yeah, Eric, they had been at one point. I guess I was reading this a couple of weeks ago. They had been in 22 1-run games, and they were 7-15. And if you look at that, wow! I mean, if you can turn that around even by being 12 and whatever it would be, 10, you're at 500 with a shot. Yeah. But that's the problem with the team. They're not good enough to win those spots. Yeah. Could be Donnie Baseball. I don't know. Maybe he's managing them out of a bunch of wins. It's possible. Anyway, it's great you call, Eric.
I know that our friend Dan Lebitard does not like managers and coaches and says that they don't matter in sports. But I'm sorry, Dan. I really believe that Donnie Baseball is making the Marlins worse. And I love you guys. Thank you so much. I won't bother you.
Hey, good to hear from you.
Not bother you.
Thanks
for finding us, my friend.
Yeah, maybe we'll break back into calls here.
We miss your calls.
The new show on the channel. So that's great. Eric, thanks so much.
Mazel tov to you.
I love you guys. Be good. We'll be on the YouTube, okay?
Thank you, sir.
All right. A great American there. Spread the word.
Yeah, please.
Wow, that was kind of nice. I like.
Well, yes, yesterday during the lunchbox, and I'm like, we haven't really figured out the lunchbox with the calls. I'm like, but you can call in the morning.
Yeah,
we miss you. We'd love to have you.
It's good.
So I appreciate
anybody
taking me
that
up
wants
on
to call him. we'll pop the number up there. Maybe. Well, we're going to have the Hialeah Park Trivia Challenge here in just a few minutes, and that's all part of the agenda. So anyway, before we took the call, I was getting into. I figured out finally how to sign on to my Peacock channel, which is some derivative or offshoot of NBC. And they are carrying the U.S. Open live bell to bell. I mean, they have the early morning action. It's going to shift to about 4 different networks by the time you get to the end of the day. But it's starting out with the very first people off the tee here at Brookline, where the weather is absolutely pristine. But you would have to think that the Marquis de Sade set this course up for the golfers. You will not see 24 under win this tournament. I'm willing to guarantee it, even if there is like zero wind and not a cloud in the sky in Massachusetts today. Now is Massachusetts, in the Northeast, are they being subjected to this hideous heat wave that has engulfed the entire United States of America? Now here, I mean, if it gets to be like a feels like temperature of 100 in Florida, so what, man? What is this? February? Yeah. We're used to it, man. We're used to being in a blast furnace here. All right. Now, the rest of the country, however, people literally pass out in the streets. Imagine Brett Tesser, who was on with us on Monday. He spends part of his summers in his mansion in Wisconsin. He must be. Imagine this. I mean,
I think it's a cabin. I don't know if he has a mansion in Wisconsin.
No, he has a really nice, well-appointed house. This isn't some log cabin like Tony Segretto's living in Vermont.
Oh, jeez.
That he built himself. No, this was like, a house that, maybe some former vice president owned when he went to the
really?
There.
Oh, I didn't know that. I thought it was like a cabin.
Yeah. Very nice place there. Yeah, you would want the invite. I haven't been there, but
he's invited us. We just don't go. I was like, am I going to go to Wisconsin?
Who's going to Wisconsin? You know what? I mean, no, but I mean, for the people that do, I guess, it has its intrinsic and inherent appeal, does it not? I mean, summertime, it was 57. What's the first thing anybody that, we have Tony on the show from Vermont. And we have Brent on the show from Wisconsin. I'm not sure where it is in relation to Green Bay, but it's somewhere on a lake, right?
Yes.
And what's the first thing they said when they came on? You say, hey, how you doing? Good to have you on the program. And the guy goes, it was 47 degrees last night.
It's like, thank you.
Because we in South Florida are used to the scorched earth theory. Only it's not just a theory here. It's a thesis. It's in practice. It's amazing. So we're used to it, but I mean, are the temperatures obscenely high? I remember when we went to the royal wedding, which was Leslie Visser and the Duke, and it was in Boston. Of course, took place. The ceremony itself took place at Harvard, at the church at Harvard. I think even a couple of the Kennedys showed up. They just happened to be walking by on the campus there, and so anyway, it was 1,000 degrees out that day, a blast furnace, and they're not used to it there.
No.
New England. The cars don't even have air conditioning. Can you imagine this? Getting in some schwitz box and trying to go in a tuxedo from the hotel all the way to, the Harvard Square there, where we ended up, Kyle had to scale the fence to get us in. That was pretty strange, right? People are thinking it's rioters, terrorists, protesters. They're going to take their wrath out on the students at Harvard University. And all it is Kyle Martinez in a rented tuxedo climbing the fence there because the gate was locked and we were late for the wedding and we were actually in. I guess what would it be? Not when you're one of the people that is actually performing a function like a bridesmaid, but in this case, I think Kyle and I were like holding a couple of flowers or something. I don't even know what we were doing. We had the simplest of assignments and we were about to blow it. That was the problem.
That sounds about right.
And that's always a difficulty with me. If you sign me to anything or expect me to do anything that would be in line with common protocol, usually I'm going to bungle it, right? Something very simple. I think we were holding a flag. I don't even know what we were doing. But it didn't work out. A yarmulke? Is that it? No, they weren't required.
I don't think they're having yarmulkes. Duke and Visram's wedding.
All right, so I don't know what the temperatures are, but I'm watching the early action here in the U.S. Open, and the Marquis de Sade must have worked on the course. Once again, getting back to Jim Sarney, our odds maker, and he's kind of like the Jimmy the Greek of the show. Imagine this: who's betting the Jets that would drop them half price in odds?
Well, that's what
the odds were high.
Eric wanted to go on to the Marlins, and that's fine. That's more relevant to us down here. But that was my question: is Zach Wilson? Look, I think it was extremely premature to start writing a guy off that was a second overall pick.
He's behind Tua, in my opinion. Behind Tua.
But he should be. It was year one. They had very similar problems to the Dolphins. No offensive line, defense was okay, and their skill position sucked. So what would you expect? And unlike Tua, who is not, really doesn't have the propensity to make mistakes, Wilson's the opposite. Wilson's known to be the gunslinger. So if you're giving him no help and he's a gunslinger, what do you think's going to happen? So like I didn't get already writing off a kid.
And expected, was out. So their offensive.
Yeah, what do you expect? But to then go the other way, now where you're uber confident, that sounds Jet. That's very Jets, where you go from hating your team to now thinking they can win it all. Like I don't think they did that much. Like they had a nice draft.
I mean, do you see the Jets winning the Super Bowl to the point where before the season, even as a joke, you would pull enough money out of your pocket? Now, okay, if you're at the track and there's a horse on the board and he's 100-1, and you're saying, "Wow, what is this horse doing at 100-1?" So some guy goes and bets like a couple of $100. Total, is bet on the horse in the next round of action before they update the odds, and it goes down to 50-1. All right, because there's just not a lot of money in the pool. But you would think, preseason NFL betting, there's enough money. I don't know. Are people already setting it on various teams? Now there are people that just routinely bet whatever team they root for. They'll put like a stick on them to win the Super Bowl. That's not enough to impact the odds in this fashion. Julian, our good friend Julian, now a big fan of the show, and we appreciate him tuning in and listening every day, says Woody Johnson sent this money in, the Woodman. I'm inclined not to believe that.
Nah, I need the Woodman.
Woody Johnson, who could have been mistaken for Woody Allen that day that we saw him down there on the field. Lubie, you weren't with us that day. It was Jersey Kyle and me, and we were accompanying the lovely and talented one, the aforementioned Leslie Visser, down to like the Jet locker room to talk to somebody, and then she had like a field pass. So knowing what a diehard Jet fan Jersey Kyle is, we thought, wow, if he could just stand on the field with his Jets, it might inspire him to do great things, which it did. It inspired him to duck. Another errant pass nearly hit him in the head and decapitated him from Jet quarterback. But we saw the Woodman going out on the field. And I honestly asked Jersey, I said, what is Woody Allen doing here at the game?
He looks actually a lot like
And it was Woody Johnson. But I'm thinking the Woodman is pretty tight with his cash. I don't know. What do you think, Lubie? Does he not strike you as the type of guy? I mean, what's the word? It's not like we were talking about the prior ownership, the Wilpons with the Mets, where everybody despised them because they were cheap, and then of course they were victimized by what looked like a rags to riches story, but turned out to be just the opposite by the whole Bernie Madoff thing, right?
Well,
and that compromised their ability to actually run the team financially.
Well, like, why would he? If they win, doesn't he make a crap load of money? So then he doesn't need to gamble. He already owns the team. Like the Jets winning anything, I can't even imagine. What are the Jets worth
as a franchise? Can you imagine?
I'm sure
if the Broncos sold for $4.5 billion.
Yeah, it's not New York.
Now the Woodman doesn't need the money. I mean, he's put out enough. I used 2 Q-tips this morning, man. I felt like I was making a contribution to the Jets' cause. So maybe I'm betting on him too. All right, we have the Hialeah Park Trivia Challenge. Speaking of telephone calls, I don't know. There's a chronic guy. I think he did get back from his trip. I'm not sure if he's.
I saw him Thursday. I saw him last Thursday. Yep, he's back in town. Yep.
Okay. And all in the gang, and you're welcome to, since we're wide open here on South Florida Live, you're welcome to call in and play the challenge. Dave Gurgles Gurgley is going to join us, and you can dial us up at 954-417-0070, 954-417-0070. Even though we've been claiming this in the 7 months that we've been doing this, we keep saying that we're going to expand the number of phone lines we have, but
I haven't said it. You say it. I can only answer one phone at a time, so to add another line to me is the same difference. You can only have one person on at a time.
So, right. You say this, I say that.
I'm not against it. It's just right now I'm a one-man show. So
see, but I'm used to this, and it was a source of paranoia among radio talk show hosts, whether they were doing sports or anything else, I would imagine, especially when you had like a bank of like 8 phones.
Dead phone.
And it was especially evident when like a television station would come in thinking that you had the hot show, and they were going to come in and they were going to get the prototypical shot of the phone lines buzzing, and then you would have your producer just punch everybody up on hold as if they were all on hold because you knew you weren't getting any calls during that segment.
I know.
And so the people were going to look on TV and see with a little schmuck face, trying to stimulate. Hey, well, can you believe what the Dolphins did? You can dial us up. right?
That'd be crazy.
And while we're trying to stimulate this outrage among the adoring dolphin public, everybody's saying, "What the hell is this fat guy talking about?" And that's going to be on TV, on the news. So, and then all the other talk show hosts, at least this is part of the paranoia that evolves from being in the business, whether you really embrace it or not, it still exists. I can tell you that now you're thinking all the other guys that have shows in town are looking, going, look at that. DeForest can't buy a call.
Plenty of calls. I always make sure you have calls. I promise. I'll let you know 7 in the bank or 3 or 5, whatever makes you happy.
All right, very good. Yeah,
give us the call. The line's open.
People stop calling talk shows anyway after a while.
Exactly.
Mostly
That's
discouraged by the fact that stations, wouldn't even bother. They didn't even have telephones after, a period of time. Just like, let's get 3 guys on, say the same thing over and over again every day, and we'll call that entertainment. That Brady Quinn show, I heard, is a real doozy. All right, Dave Gurgles Gurgly. No bitterness, as Gurgles would say. No bitterness, but you know what? Go fuck yourself. Dave Gurgles Gurgly. GFY, I think.
Exactly. That's our abbreviation.
GFY. You see those letters associated with anything? I put that now instead of sincerely. I put GFY. Jeff Defo DeForest. All right, Dave Gurgles Gurgling going to join us. David, how are you? Let's bring him in here real quickly, make a little introduction before we get into the game here. And once again, you can dial us up, 954-417-0070. Hialeah Park Trivia Challenge on tap. David, how are you? How you been, my friend?
Doing wonderful. Just back from a golf trip in Orlando, which was a wonderful trip, except Orlando traffic makes Miami look like, bumfuck Iowa. Oh, my goodness.
That Route 4, man, is a Route 4 disaster. They should just put in parentheses after they post the sign, Route 4. And it's ugly. Is everybody going to Disney World to or from? Is that the deal there, or they just have no other streets?
We certainly weren't, but I mean, we got a great deal. There was 11 of us, I think. We each had 4-bedroom houses with 4 baths and 4 rounds of golf for like $670. So we had a really good deal. Up in the Orlando area, but we played Grand Cypress. We played Shingle Creek, some of the top golf courses. But forget about me. I haven't seen you since Italy. What was your favorite part of the trip in Italy?
Walking into the casino in Venice and realizing that this was like nothing else I've ever encountered in terms of a gambling endeavor. It was kind of quiet in there because Italy is like a late night thing. The people don't go to the early bird dinner there. I mean, the restaurants don't even open, some of them, until like 7:30. Imagine, if you did that here. That would be it. Every Altacocker would be shut out. Can I get the special, and does it come with iced tea, or do I have to pay extra? That crowd is not happening in Italy. I mean, the people are, they're getting ready to go out and have a late night vibe. The casino really, it was right out of a James Bond flick. I mean, and what was weird was, I don't know, I guess... I've never experienced, I'm Jewish, but I never really felt like I experienced a lot of discrimination because of that. I mean, there may be people that have, various, but they think this of every different type of person, whether it's based on nationality or religion, like, hey, you stinking Irishman, that you're going to encounter some of that. But that's marginal, especially growing up in Brooklyn. But in the casino, I felt like, if... I was a black man walking into, some bar in Alabama, where they still had to sign up colored people, over the bathroom. And they kind of followed us around, very friendly. But there were like 3 people in management for every person that was in the casino. It's very weird.
How about your favorite city? What was your favorite city?
I like Venice.
Besides the casino.
Venice and the Amalfi Coast.
Me too.
Those would be my 2 destinations.
Oh, you went to the Amalfi Coast? Wow.
Very briefly, yeah. But that was so gorgeous.
Yeah.
I would want to spend some time there. I love that kind of thing, the little beach towns. And, just the vibe was absolutely fantastic. The scenery couldn't have been any more compelling. And then Venice, I just dug Venice because of the water and everything. It was fantastic. There's good food everywhere at a reasonable price. I really enjoyed it. Almost went to the Ippodromo, though, one day. in Florence.
Yeah, I was there.
You went there?
Yeah. There were no racing, but I was there. I was in Uffizi, the Spanish Steps, the Last Supper. The Last Supper, I thought one of the waiters looked like the Pauly Man, but I'm not sure when I saw that.
That was the guy who got the check.
Yeah, exactly.
Because you know that one is going to get stamped as unpaid.
Well, then your next stop should be when the Mustang and you hit another big jackpot. Take a trip to Portugal.
Yes, Portugal's great. Lisbon's amazing. Some other places there, Porto, amazing.
Yeah, you went there.
You know that Lisbon.
Yeah.
The retail stores in Lisbon per square foot are more expensive than Rodeo Drive in California.
That's what Defo wants.
There's some great rooftop bars there. There's a drink called Macieto, a honey brandy up on a rooftop bar with a 65-degree temperature overlooking Lisbon. What a country, Portugal.
Well, there were people that were en route to Portugal. You know, what's nice, and I hadn't traveled internationally in that fashion. I mean, I've been to Mexico, Canada, and Colombia would be my other 3 countries. So, you know, it wasn't like I had worldwide, wisdom in terms of travel. But I always enjoy, you know me, I'll schlubber with anybody. And so I really enjoy it. And that's your style also, where you're going to engage people from different countries in conversation. And it was nice to see all the different, countries from Europe being represented with people that like to travel to Italy. But universally, I would say if I heard it once, it was at least, half a dozen times that people that were either heading to or from Portugal or had spoken about it said that the food was the best of any European country, the cheapest of any European country, and like it was just a blast to be in this atmosphere.
And the other good thing about it is there's an airline called TAP Airline, and it stands for the Airline of Portugal. Flies nonstop from Miami to Lisbon, nonstop.
Okay. How long of a flight is that?
I took 12 guys and some of their wives on a golf trip there, and the food, you are right. They serve 6-pound grouper to the table. They have a vino verde, a green wine they call it, but Portugal's an unbelievable country by all means. If you remember, I did some spots for TAP Airline because they were giving me a discount for 10 people and only 7 showed up. So they wanted to charge me an extra $3,000. And I said, well, I'll do 4 spots on our show. And they went for it. So by all means.
You're a great salesman under those circumstances. I mean, you'll come up to a guy at the last second that you maybe owe a few bucks to. And, you're talking about Arnie the Sprinkler guy or whoever that was. What was the guy that had the malathion spray or whatever? The Mr. Mosquito Mister.
Mr. Mosquito Mister.
Oh, yeah.
That was one of my favorite things
Mister.
that we ever hawked on the air here. The Mr. Mosquito Mister. And it was great having a Pauly Man talking about, there's like a bunch of bugs in your yard. Kind of messes up the barbecue. You have a steak, it's got a little beetle on it. No, he was great with that.
I'm doing the spots is my favorite. I miss Pauly Man so much.
We do.
Well, as you know, dementia is set in with all of us. The confusion comes up as you're in the middle of the spot and you forget what it was that you were talking about to begin with. And so then all of a sudden you'd be talking about the Eggs Benedict.
Yes, 100%. Magic City, Mosquito Mister, and the deli.
What are we talking about here? They don't have slot
Bogart's American Cafe.
Bogart's American
Cafe. Yeah.
As in, can I Bogart?
Lubie, when you said you missed Pauly, believe me, there's several people that miss Pauly.
It's a different kind of miss.
Pretty good. D.D. Cooper disappearing act though at this point in time. There was always a Pauly Man presence. In the many years that we've been with Pauly Man, and for me, it's like over 40. But and you at least 25, right? Maybe even more than that now, almost 30 years. But there was always, there was a presence about the Pauly Man even when he wasn't around. But he's sort of like, I don't know what it is. Do we all just like sort of fade off into the sunset a little bit? I feel that's happening.
I hope not.
No,
I hope not. I speak to him once in a while. He's doing okay, and there's just something about him. You and I both know when we did the radio shows live, he'd come in sulking down in the dumps, and when the red light went on, he was fine.
Yeah.
By the way, my computer once in a while the video will go out, so don't worry, the audio's still working.
No, you look great. We can see you fine. All right. We're going to come back with the trivia challenge. You ready for that, Dave?
Oh, yeah.
There was a question last night, and I'm not sure that the math equates out because they had mentioned right before the Tampa Bay Lightning got 2 goals in 48 seconds to tie the game, they had thrown the stat out there, which was kind of relevant, that it had been 63 straight games in Stanley Cup final play that a team with a multi-goal lead, 2 or more, won the game. They had done it 63 straight times. And is it possible that the last time that happened was in 1994 with the Rangers? I think did they come back in like Game 7 from like a multi-goal deficit and win it? With that Messier team, was that? But 63 games. If you're thinking what, an average of 6 games per final series, so that's about 10 years. But that seems like it would go back too far. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, if it was 5, it would go back. Well, forget it. I can't do the math right
63 times, and now it's 64. Even though it looked like that was going to get busted up because the words weren't even out of Sean McDonough's mouth yet, and all of a sudden, boom!
Yeah, right then.
Kucherov, I mean, wow! What? If you weren't a fan of the NHL and you watch this guy throughout the playoffs, my God! I mean, literal artistry, like a behind-the-back Bob Cousy pass for the goal that actually got Tampa Bay back in the game when it went from 3-1 to 3-2, and then they scored like a few seconds later. Then nothing until I fell asleep and they lost in overtime. I don't know. Are you a Tampa Bay fan? Are you rooting for them to make it 3 in a row, or are you rooting against them?
I'm rooting for the Avalanche because they have the kid Makar on there who was on the UMass team that won their championship, and one of the guys on the golf trip with me was the goalie for the UMass team that won the championship before that in 1971.
Oh, that was one of my questions. So, that goalie was whom?
His name was Patrick Flaherty.
Patrick Flaherty?
5-hole Flaherty.
Nice, man. Nice. And now, and this is great, Gurgles. I'm watching. I know you're a big golf fan. I'm watching this U.S. Open, which has gotten underway. And if I'm not mistaken, this guy Quinn is like some bizarre story, like a club pro or something, a real tin cup thing. Not sure. I might have this wrong.
That's the guy that replaced you on
that was Brady Quinn. Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right.
He's everywhere, this cat.
Brady Quinn's just all over the place.
We remain also the answer to a famous trivia question. Who are the only 2 guys in history to lose a starting job to Brady Quinn? That would be Lubie and me. Yeah. All right.
Yeah, I'd rather listen to Anthony Quinn than him, to be honest with you.
I don't know. You know what? I really have to say I dig this format a lot more than I did the radio, and that's saying a lot because I always love doing radio. But this is definitely the way to go. Not saying that just because we were like kind of pushed off a cliff into it, but I'm happy we picked it up. A lot of fun, and the people are catching on. Lubie created his own new monstrous channel, which I don't believe. I think only Lubie and the Polyman have a piece of it.
Right now, it's a piece of not much, so there's not much to fight over.
We have been aced out again, Gurgles. Familiar position. All right, 954-417-0070. Line up if you want to play. And we're going to get going with the Hialeah Park Trivia Challenge here. Dave's got all the questions. You can win a Landlubber's gift certificate and just have yourself a heck of a lot of fun. And if you want to have fun, what better place than Hialeah Park? I mean, we can't, as we say, thank them enough for their loyal support of the show. No matter what format we've been in, they've been with us all the way, going all the way back to my days of doing Inside Florida Racing with my buddy Mike Fernandez on Channel 39. And we would come out there and welcomed us with open arms to help explore things about the game that maybe people didn't understand. And they've had this deep understanding of not only what horse players wanted, but what people that go to casinos and play cards and naturally bet the simulcast want. And they set all their rooms up in perfect fashion. Gurgles, would you say? I mean, each place has a little bit of a different vibe. The casino, the horse, champion simulcast room, and the poker room, but all perfect for what it is that you're looking for if you're engaging in that activity.
Yeah, I harken back to 1971 on spring break from Rider College in New Jersey, coming to Fort Lauderdale, and with 200 degenerates, we took a Volkswagen bus to Hialeah Park, and I said, this place is beautiful. Back then, I think it was owned by the Maury family. And I said, they can't get any better than that. Then when I moved here permanently, started going there, and the Brunettis took over, I said, wow, what great racing. And then when they had a little hiatus, they come back with that casino, and now it's better than ever. Champions, the Brass Rail Bar, and then I wander over to the casino, get some good food over there, and play a little slot machines. I haven't played poker yet, but I know I don't want to because I don't want to go against NASCAR Roger. But it's got everything you want at Hialeah Park. Easy to get to, free parking, friendly people, and I love it at Hialeah Park. I may take a little ride there tomorrow afternoon, maybe bet a little Belmont and everything else that's simulcast.
Imagine you have the chips piled in a pyramid to the ceiling in the center of the table there, and Dave Gurgle's gurgling a stare down with NASCAR Roger. Dave's got 2-6 and a 10 high kicker and nothing, and Roger's holding 4 aces.
2-6 and a high kicker.
and Dave's thinking, I know he's going to blink. Yeah. But that's the game. It's a beautiful thing. You have to be able to read people. And, Gurgle's very good at that. No wonder you're an accomplished poker player. All right. We'll see if you guys can read Gurgle's mind and get on board with the Hialeah Park Trivia Challenge. But Hialeah Park, great place. And I did want to say this. Anytime, and I had many interviews with John Brunetti Sr., and it was always like, how certain people, I mean, I've talked to a zillion sports people over the years. It's been a real pleasure, and it's one of the great aspects of the job, just getting to know people that are interesting and, do interesting things and at a very high level. And not everybody falls into that category, but there was always this kind of sort of stoic feeling you got when talking to John Brunetti Sr., and yet he was very good at putting you immediately at ease if you were in a conversation, especially in his later years. I mean, remember how contentious it was, though? I mean, and you almost, we're pretty good at this. I don't know if it's like a chameleon-like aspect of the personality you need to be in this racket, but, I mean, we could sort of like align ourselves in all areas there. We never really took like specific sides in those arguments between like Gulfstream and Hialeah Park. But I was always empathetic and sympathetic to the Hialeah cause because you just wanted, I mean, you still want it to come back as a racing entity someday, right? I guess that's off the board now.
I remember when they were open and running against then Calder, and our buddy Hank Goldberg was working for Channel 4 and came out, saw me there and interviewed me at Hialeah and said, "What are you doing here? Calder's open." I said, "Man, I'd come here anytime rather than Calder." And I was true to it, and now it's come back better than ever.
Yep.
Yeah. Calder was a weird place, although very functional, right? Because you would have had nothing, I guess, during the summertime here. Imagine 8 months a year with no simulcasting and no racing and no ability to bet these things on your phone. How would we have lived? We would have not been able to survive. I would have moved. I would have had to move. Coming here from Cleveland, Ohio here. I tell you what, the Guardians are really playing some good baseball tonight. Jeff DeForest, Mike Lubie. A Cleveland version of Lubie. We could get our man Rafa.
I'm sure. I was going to say.
That would be great. All right, trivia challenge coming up. And later on, Lenn Robbins is going to join us, one of our favorites. And maybe he can get to the bottom of the mystery of how the Jets went from 200-1 to 100-1 in odds to win the Super Bowl just in the last couple of weeks. Unbelievable. Who's sending it in? That Abramovich guy? He's trying to hide that money, the Russian oligarch guy? All of a sudden, he's just figuring, hey, may as well bet it on the Jets.
That's from signed autograph money from Browning Nagel, I believe.
Browning Nagel, nice move. Browning Nagel.
What would be the most haunting name in Jets history? Put that out there.
I think Kotite. I think it's an easy answer.
Kotite, yeah. Hey. And to think, I liked them when they were good, man. They had a hell of a team. That team that won the 69 Super Bowl was really an unbelievably good team. Underrated by the reporting press because everybody had such an NFL bias. They didn't want to believe these guys that were chucking the rock all over the field there and were cocky and brash. We're going to actually win that game. All right, so we're coming back with more. The Hialeah Park Trivia Challenge. Don't forget, make your plans to be at Hialeah Park. Big Father's Day thing going, I'm sure. Go online, HialeahPark.com. You get all the details there. It's usually like a brunch buffet and, just a great place to take your dad because then you can punch away in a champion simulcasting room. Would that be great? Never mind, Jess. I'm not coming over for the barbecue. I know where I'm going. That'll be a Father's Day special coming up on Sunday. All right, back with more in a moment. On the Defo Show, Jeff DeForest, Mike Lubie Lubitz, Dave Gurgles Gurgly, and the Hialeah Park Trivia Challenge. Back in a moment. Now that. 7:45. Ponies in Style at Champions, the outstanding simulcasting room at beautiful Hialeah Park. Yes, the grand old lady of thoroughbred racing has never been more vibrant, And you can wager on the races from the top tracks around the country while enjoying a cocktail at the Brass Rail Bar or any of the fine food served throughout the facility. If poker is your game, you're covered in style. And you can play all your favorite Vegas-style games, including blackjack, craps, and roulette, in Hialeah Park's sizzling hot casino. Get a player's card when you walk through the door for all kinds of generous amenities, including our favorite, free play, when you come out to the ultimate casino and entertainment destination, Hialeah Park.
Hey folks, Tony Segreto here. You know, since day one, Catholic Health Services has been part of Old School. And since we've started letting people know about them, it's changed their lives. You see, Catholic Health Services, while being recognized as one of the top places for stroke rehab in the country, it's also about a group of people who not just excel in what they do, from the doctors to the nurses to the therapist, on and on and on. It's how they do what they do every single day that separates them from the pack. They do it with a passion, unmatched, and the inclusion of family in every step of the process. Trust me when I tell you this. If you want the best, unmatched rehab with a special group of skilled, caring people, there is truly only one place, and that one place is Catholic Health Services.
These days, we're all looking for comfort anywhere we can find it. Thank goodness for Landlubbers Raw Bar and Grill in the Plantation location, because they are making sure you are as comfortable as possible. First of all, they're not only open for delivery and pickup. All you have to do is go to landlubbersbarandgrill.com for both pickup and free delivery. Their hours have changed a little bit. Monday through Thursday from 3:30 to 10, and Friday, Saturday, and Sunday from 11:30 to 10. You're going to have the best wings in the world. You're going to have a great burger. You're going to have their amazing soups. Again, Landlubbers, Raw Bar and Grill. It's nice and easy. Just go to landlubbersbarandgrill.com for both your pickup and free delivery. Thank goodness for Landlubbers for making you always feel right at home.
Oh, Solo Volante will be coming late. Oh, Solo Volante, the Belmont's now 1 mile and an 8. The finish line is coming up quick. Luca Panici just switched the stick.
The only way to get your morning started is with Defo, joined by Lubie, right here on the Defo Show.
All right, he's on the green. Rory McIlroy's first shot, I think, was on a par 3 here at the U.S. Open. It's underway. And I've got action on this. That's why I'm concerned with the very earliest of tee times here, where, it's not like they put a bunch of schmanks out there because it's a good field. All right, so here's my team, Gurgles. Tell me what you think. Okay. And this is off of 7 lists. You had to pick one name off of the 7 lists. I took Tommy Fleetwood Mac.
I like him.
Let's see. Berger was on that list. Hatton, one of the Polyman's favorites. Im and Kim, you can never count these guys out. And Molinari, I think, is finished, washed up, so I didn't worry about him. And Wade Simpson. So Fleetwood, pretty consistent, right? I would say, and not too bad there. I took
not a
Cameron
winner, but
Smith.
In the top 5 a lot. Yep.
Yeah, Cameron Smith. I took Cameron Smith over. The tough choice there would have been over Scotty Scheffler, who's red hot, and John Rahm. So, and the Straka kid, who's the Austrian Oak, can hit the ball like 400 miles. But I'm not sure, what's going to win it here, because I meant to mention I'm watching it on Peacock. It's on live now, U.S. Open. And, it's no place to shank one. Let's put it that way.
Right.
If you're slightly offline, you're fucked. I mean, it really is the way they set these U.S. Open courses up. So, we'll see what happens. But a beautiful day there in Beantown. So I have Fleetwood. I have Cameron Smith. I have Tony Finau, who's been hot. And I like Finau. You're always rooting for him. I don't know if he wins the thing, but I took him over a bunch of good guys also, including Spieth, Zalatoris, Dustin Johnson, and this guy Fitzpatrick, who's coming on. Then I took Cameron Young for no reason, except I wanted the other guy named Cameron on my team. Have you seen this Dutchman, Van Ruin? Strange looking guy, man. I mean, he's built like the big Swede, Heinrich Stenson, but he's got like a Raleigh Fingers handlebar mustache, and he's the only guy that wears like straight sort of European slacks. So he looks like he's wearing clam diggers out there or something. And a tall, lanky guy, but usually pretty good. And then I have McIlroy and Shane Lowry, one of your favorites, the swashbuckling
I like Shane Lowry.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. You ready to get to the game? We have people ready to play?
Yes, sir.
Here we go. Hialeah Park Trivia Challenge. Dave's going to fire off a set of questions. And We'll spin the random phone scrambler. The number to call is 954-417-0070. The scrambler is a bit of just a canned laughter track because of the fact that we only have one guy on hold at a time. So I don't know what we're scrambling except our own brains with that, but it's tradition. So without thorough, more fanfare here. DeChambeau about to tee off, I think. No, that was a commercial. Because I'm gonna yell in the middle of his backswing, "Shank it, you traitor!" Here's Dave Gurgles Gurgley to start us off in a traditional fashion on the Hialeah Park Trivia Challenge with some
easy baseball. This original manager of the 62 Mets, after losing their 9th straight game to start the season, when talking to reporters in the press conference, said, we're a much improved ball club. Now we're losing in extra innings. What's that? Casey Stengel, Casey Kasem, Ben Casey, or Casey and the Sunshine Band?
Stengelese, man, was great. Here's a random phone scrambler, and it's going to land on, whoa! What a surprise, a shocker here to start things out. Lenny, the Chronic. You're on the Hialeah Park Trivia Challenge. How was your trip to Saratoga, Lenny, and why would you go there when they weren't racing?
Oh, yeah, we had a ball. It was a beautiful place. It's beautiful up there. So where Funnyside was born, we saw the track, museum, and my buddy's got a beautiful house out there. A bunch of guys got together. It was real nice.
Very nice, Lenny. Now, are you? Did you invite yourself back during July when they're running the horses there?
Absolutely. My buddy actually he Airbnb's his house around that time, and he goes traveling.
Well, we're not interested in paying, but if you want to bring your trivia team and maybe some people to fire off some questions, Lubie, Gurgles, and I can accommodate you and satisfy all of your trivia instincts while we're betting the ponies all day at Saratoga. That'd be great. And staying for free.
I'll let you know.
You have 1 point. You're in the game here, Lenny.
As a matter of fact, Lenny, I just made my plans. I will be in Saratoga August 12th, 13th, and 14th.
Ooh.
So if you tell the guy to leave the key under the mat, just send me some directions. I'll give him $20. Not a problem.
Actually, tell him to leave 2 sticks under the mat there in case Gurgles taps out his ATM card.
Well, yeah, I could use that too. All right, Lenny.
Hey, Dave, we got a chair there for you for tonight if you need it.
There you go.
And by the way, anybody who has not been there to Landlubbers with Lubie and the Professor, you don't have to be a sports fan. You have to be a little more up to date than I am on things. But man, what a fun time that is! And Lubie and the Professor do a terrific job, and it's a great place. You could bring your wife, and she'd get involved, and whatever you like. So it is a good time, Lenny. I'm not sure I'll make it, but if I do, I'll certainly let you know. All right, let's move on to true or false.
Yeah, it's a great start. Let's go.
All right, speaking of golf and the U.S. Open, believe it or not, the land on which the country club at Brookline, the site of this week's U.S. Open, was originally used as a racetrack for flat and steeplechase races. True or false?
Yeah, why not? True.
I say false.
It is.
True.
That's true.
Lenny got it.
They used it for racing first.
Yeah, use
it for racing first. Put 6 holes out. 1930, they closed the racing and went forward. All right.
I was thinking Native American burial grounds, and there may be a way that we could somehow cop a casino license. Yeah. All right, Lenny 2 for 2, a rare 2 for 2 for Lenny the Chronic.
All right, Lenny, let's go. Sticking with golf, the last time the U.S. Open was held at Brookline, Curtis Strange won in a Monday playoff versus who? Was that Freddie Couples, Nick Price, Fred Funk, or Nick Faldo?
Let's go with Funk.
I'm going to go Couples.
No, it was Nick Faldo, as a matter of fact. Couldn't happen to a nicer guy. I just don't like him.
You don't like Faldo? I know. How do you think they're going to handle a conversation about this Live Tour stuff? I mean, obviously they're going to have the camera on Phil. Phil, by the way, well received, Lubie. Our fears that he would be booed.
Oh, really?
And that you might hear boos erupting and arising from a golf crowd of all things, which you would never think, in a sanctimonious game like golf. But he was resoundingly cheered when he teed off on a practice round. And he's been signing autographs and as popular as ever with the American fans. Phil,
I don't get that at all.
In spite of the Saudi blood money. All right. 5-point question here, Lenny.
All right, Lenny, let's go to hockey. You talked about the 2 fastest goals. We want to know who scored the fastest goal from the start of a period in the Stanley Cup final game, in a Stanley Cup final game. Right. Fastest goal from the start of any period in a Stanley Cup final game. What's that? Andre Richard, Johnny Busick, Wayne Gretzky, or our own Brian Scrudlin?
Oh, wow.
Let's go with Richard, the Rocket.
I'm going to go Screwy.
How about Brian Scrudlin?
Yeah.
So
scored
Scrudlin.
9 seconds into overtime for the Montreal Canadiens in 1986, way before his Panther career.
That's the beauty of this game, though, that, you have names like Maurice Richard and Bobby Hull and whoever else you mentioned among the first 3, and then you throw in a Brian Scrudlin.
Yeah.
And you're thinking, is Gurgles just messing with me? Or
exactly.
Otherwise, it has to be Scrudlin. Right? Because what is he doing in the same conversation, Brian Scrudlin, with Maurice the Rocket
Richard?
Well, I could have put it. I could have been Florent Giroux in there, but I didn't.
There you go.
You might have got Lenny on that one too. I mean, because Giroux, I think he had 2 assists last night for the Avalanche. All right, we're coming back with more of the Trivia Challenge. Dial us up. We'll get our next player in line here, 954-417-0070. Lenny starts out not with a goose egg. He tallied 2, so still eligible for things, but not a total that normally would be considerable enough to get into the finals here. So it's wide open to get there. Dave's got more questions for you. Hialeah Park Trivia Challenge. Do want to mention Jimmy Johnson's Big Chill, mile marker 104 in Key Largo. And rumors are adrift there, Lubie, that this will be an ongoing relationship. So that's good. I heard from my friend Tommy Fox. He says looking good for getting down there.
Oh, you did? Oh, thank God. Okay. Soon. We haven't heard from anyone. The radio silence is not good. And radio.
See, it's the keys, Lubie. You have to get used to detaching.
I know. They take their time and
frenetic, neurotic pace and approach to everything. And just go, hey, guess what? It's another day.
That's the only place That's the only place I'm able to do that. Once I leave there, I'm back to this. Once you're there, it's like, okay.
Hey, Lou, you got any bait? I think I might try to throw a line in there from the dock today. Right? See if I can't catch myself some mahi-mahi right off the dock here. That's the way it is. And you know what? It is coming right off the dock. The fresh food that you get, the seafood, is just absolutely, I mean, and you can taste the difference, Gurgles. You know this from your trip to Portugal. You can taste the difference, right? When, they just pull that thing right out of the pond there, and you're going, holy smokes, put that on the grill. And it's a great place to relax and chill out. We had a wonderful time there. If you're a sports fan, too, I mean, for watching things like this U.S. Open, where I did not take Morikawa. He's already in the lead here. Through 2 holes with a handful of guys having teed off at -1.
As soon as you said he was finished, I called my bookie and made a bet.
Golf fans, I mean, are they still sensitive to this? You're around a golf course all the time, Dave Gurgles Gurgley there at Shula's. But, I used to in Sportscast. Miami Lakes Golf Club. Yeah. Well, we can't forget the great Don Shula. But,
Miami Lakes Golf Club.
No, of course.
Yeah, it's going to take a while for me to, I know we've been mentioning that, but, I always picture Don, at the steakhouse there going, hey, come on in, try the porterhouse. It was fantastic. But I mean, they would get sensitive if you said that, say, Morikawa is -1 versus 1 under. I mean, that's the kind of bizarre distinction. It would be like, you were speaking to somebody in a language that you didn't fully comprehend, like you were in Portugal speaking Portuguese or whatever. And you said, instead of saying, hey, thank you very much, have a nice day, you said, why don't you go fuck yourself? Right. And the guy looked at you like, what? So do people care about that distinction? I mean, or would you say that Morikawa is -1 at this point?
I mean, either one. It's not like being at the Masters and calling the people fans instead of patrons, where you can be shot for that. But I mean, -1, I think 1 under is more the lingo that the golfers appreciate. But the average fan, -1 is fine. That's
-1, man. He's in the red.
Yep.
It's great. Negative city, my friend. Anyway, so they're off and running here at the U.S. Open. I haven't seen any fistfights yet. I think Koepka, I took a prop bet that Koepka will punch out DeChambeau and curse him out, and after he misses the cut, will defame him publicly. and also get in a brawl by the clubhouse. What do you think? Odds of that?
I think they'll be on Friday Night SmackDown on WSBN.
Exactly, wrestling. That's what we've been talking about.
I bet Koepka's going to punch someone at this U.S. Open. That is, I think he's ready to erupt. I really do, and he's had it with this talk of the Live Tour.
I had a chat with Frank Fiore, and he said next time they're having boxing at Hialeah, they're considering having Belkis Nare there, and it's going to be called "Have a Fight with Belkis," not a fight. Who knows?
Jeez.
And knowing Frankie, he could probably get Leon Margulies or Louis de Cubas to book Koepka versus DeChambeau, and that could be. I don't know if that's a main event fight, but it might be a very interesting prelim, right? Like a little celebrity boxing. All right, we're coming back with more of the Hialeah Park Trivia Challenge. Jimmy Johnson's Big Chill, mile marker 104, the Overseas Highway. Great place to enjoy some fine food. Maya was a little depressed yesterday, the Gambling Gourmet, after the meeting we had. I don't know that I've ever been to a radio management meeting that was favorable unless you were actually getting the job at the time. And even then,
I was going to say.
It always came with strings attached, right?
It's never like automatically good. There's always a negative. But I mean, they gave us a station and we were like, oh, and then there was always, but okay.
No, Lubie took him a while to become accustomed to this because he was a very eager participant. Like, whoa, management wants to talk to me, but it was never good. I mean, never good. So, and Mayo was a little depressed after this meeting that we had yesterday, which actually the guy was doing, he was doing the best he could, the guy from the station. It wasn't like he was saying, hey, get out of here, but unfortunately it was one of those quirks that happens in business where, you're on the short end of it. So we should bring him down there to mile marker 104 to Keys, right? And get him that Italian fisherman pizza. Yes, Gurgles.
And you know what else? If you were down there at Jimmy Johnson's, you're out on the dock, you have a nice meal, why not light up a Perdomo cigar?
You got the combo.
Yes.
Nice,
I never forget Nick Perdomo. 5150 Northwest 167th Street on the Palmetto on the south side, a little bit east of the Home Depot, Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Go in there. Lauren Nick Jr., the fourth generation now, working the desk there. She'll direct you to that big humidor our late great friend, the Mad Dog, built. And whether it's a 20th anniversary Robusto Maduro or the Churchill Lot 23, they make them perfect one at a time. 305-627-6700, the number to call. And guess what? It's not too late to do your shopping for Father's Day this Sunday. Go to Perdomo Cigars. If you don't know what to get, there's a variety pack, there's a box, or buy a gift card for dad or your granddad or whoever who will love a Perdomo cigar. So today, but for Father's Day coming up, make sure you rush there today and tomorrow, your last 2 days, to get a gift card at Perdomo Cigars. Put something great in your mouth with a cigar from Perdomo Cigars.
That was great, man. We managed to work in like 3 different sponsors there in the span of a couple of minutes.
Don't forget, I'll be at Landlubber tonight. Don't forget.
And don't forget, if you can't make it, sit at home in one of your office chairs from Landy. Oh, no, I'm sorry. That's old days.
I may as well start selling arepas over here. Arepas here. Arepas. Fanta Orange. Fanta Orange was big in Italy, man. They love Fanta soda over there.
Yes.
What do they make it over there? What is that all about?
I don't know. I'm a Fanta Birch Beer fan, though. I like that.
No, they drink their beer warm, or was that just, bad luck?
No, they don't drink it warm. I had ice cold Peroni when I was there.
No, it's cold everywhere. Yeah, it's cold everywhere.
Yep.
Not where I was, man.
They just drink water warm. They don't do ices in the big. You have to.
Oh no, ice. I mean, is a hot commodity. I mean, no pun intended, but or whatever. Hot commodity there. You have to ask for it. Yes. And they give you a look. Yep. That's the only time they give you a look.
Yes,
the rest of the time, it couldn't be any more friendly, unless you asked to put Parmesan cheese on one of their pizzas, which
that's
the Mustang did.
Too. They don't want that.
Hey, Lou, you got any cheese? And the guy looks at her like she's out of her mind. Talked her out of it too, right? He blocked her, from putting it on there. It was unbelievable. All right, coming back with more of the Hialeah Park Trivia Challenge. Of course, Perdomo Cigars, so always a good mention by Dave Gurgles Gurgley. Nick Perdomo, fine guy, and been supporting us for a long, long time as well. And Jimmy Johnson's Big Chill, mile marker 104, the Overseas Highway, great place to go. Back with more on the Defo Show here on South Florida Live, Lubie's new channel. I can't believe the Polyman got a piece. You could never discount the Polyman. He's grandfathered in for life. Even if he never makes another appearance on the show, he's in. You're in, Polyman. We love him. We absolutely love him, man. No, he sounds good. I had a couple of communications with the Polyman, and you can hear his voice even in a text. When you read it from the Polyman.
It's like a movie when they write the letter and they hear them.
He said to me, is Joe Willie coming back? Why are people betting the Jets? All right, back with more in a moment. Now that. Can't understand it. It's 8:06.
Folks, Tony Segreto here. Let me ask you a question. What do you look for when you go out to eat? Good food, obviously. Friendly atmosphere, not too loud, but good energy, reasonable prices, and a place where you feel comfortable. All those ingredients, no pun meant there, are hard to find unless you're talking about the Texas Roadhouse. You see, they encompass all of those attributes. Really, really good food, amazing atmosphere, good for a family, good for a date, or just a night out for yourself, and prices that will make you extremely happy. Their ribs, unmatched. Steaks, hand-cut every day. Everything, and I mean everything, is made on site, including their incredible bread. It's the one day, folks, that you can forget about low-carb diets. Trust me when I tell you, Texas Roadhouse, your restaurant, your destination when you say, where should we go and eat tonight?
From the newly renovated sports bar to the beautiful bayside views captured at the Tiki Bar, Jimmy Johnson's Big Chill has it all. Located at mile marker 104, the Big Chill also offers waterfront dining while experiencing breathtaking sunset views of the Florida Keys. It's simply the hottest spot in the Keys to cool off. That's Jimmy Johnson's Big Chill at mile marker 104 in Key Largo. For more information, call today at 305-453-9066.
Recently, we realized it's not just hurricane season that can hurt us. Any time of year, things can happen to your home or business. And the insurance company can be your friend, but they also can be your enemy. Horizon Public Adjusters, Justina Testa, are here for you to help this process go so much easier. Before you call the insurance company, call Horizon Public Adjusters and Justina Testa at 954-809-8752. Would you go into court without an attorney? So why would you go up against an insurance company without Horizon Public Adjusters and Justina Testa? 7 to 10 times more money recovered with a public adjuster than if you went on your own. If there's no recovery, there's no fee. Give them a call at 954-809-8752. Why go up against insurance companies alone when you can have Horizon Public Adjusters and Justina Testa on your side?
This comes from the great Defo Lama. It's the bets you don't make, the chances you don't take, that can compromise an otherwise incredible life, my friend.
The only way to get your morning started is with Defo, joined by Lubie, right here on The Defo Show.
All right, welcome back to the show. We're immersed in the Hialeah Park Trivia Challenge with the great Dave Gurgles Gurgley. I'm Jeff DeForest, and of course, the man behind the scenes there, but very much prominent on screen. If you're watching on South Florida Live, our new channel that we created like yesterday. It was great, and having a lot of fun with that. That's Mike Lubie Lubitz. Lenny has played and failed to tally a total worthy of being in the finals. I think Gurgles is a big Matsuyama fan. He's now 1 under in the early stages of this U.S. Open. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 guys 1 under already. And some guy just hit a sensational shot, Morikawa, on the third hole, going to try and go to 2 under. Zalatoris, I'm glad I didn't take him. That kid, Will Zalatoris, has been a big factor in the majors. And you know, it looks like he's ready to break through pretty soon. He cut his hair off. That might have been a mistake. As, you know, he was one of those guys who was easily recognizable, like Miguel Angel Jimenez was. But nonetheless, he's out of it already, man. His first drive in the stands on the right side.
There you go.
And I'm looking at the way they set this thing up.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think they've cut this grass besides the fairway and the green in like 3 years getting ready for this tournament. It is some of the ugliest, gnarliest looking stuff, and everybody's waving left and right. So if you're offline, you can put yourself out in this tournament like in one shot, I believe, and Zalatoris may have already done it. So he'll go on and win it. All right, here we go. Our next set of questions. You ready to go? We'll play as many as we can. Gurgles will be with us till about 8:30. Lenn Robbins with us at 8:35. The great Lenn Robbins out of New York City, always a blast. Maybe it's his money that's responsible for knocking the Jets from 200-1 down to 100-1 to win the Super Bowl this year. That seems like wouldn't you like to book all of that action, Gurgles?
Yes. Yeah.
And then you might have to book yourself a flight to a non-extraditable country, but
well,
chances are you're going to win that.
I'm going in July to the Maldives, so that'll be. I don't know if
A friend of ours just sent some pictures back from there. Jimmy Rodriguez, the great
Yes,
Jimmy Rod.
yes.
And he's been doing great for himself with The Zone and some other enterprises he has going, podcasting, picking games, doing all kinds of things. And he just landed with his wife in the Maldives, and it looks absolutely as pristine as anything that you will ever see. So that'll be interesting. No simulcasting, though, I would imagine, from those huts that are over the ocean. Yeah.
No problem.
How you? I mean, you don't get the shakes, Gurgles, after like a week or so of no betting?
No, I'm fine.
I started to fall apart in Rome a little bit. All right, here we go. Next set of questions. Dave Gurgles Gurgley, Hialeah Park Trivia Challenge for a Landlubber's gift certificate and the pride and joy of being our first winner on the new South Florida Live channel that we put together. Here's Dave with the next set of questions.
All right. Speaking of the U.S. Open, golf. This humorist and avid amateur golfer on the new and improved golf balls when they appeared said, I thought about buying those new long-distance golf balls, but I wonder what's the point of hitting golf balls even further out of bounds? What's that?
Zalatoris.
Exactly.
Bruce Lansky, Meyer Lansky, Oscar Meyer, or Oscar Madison?
I like the Meyer Lansky reference there. Here's a random phone scrambler. And our next player is, baby, look at that. Andy. You're on the Hialeah Park Trivia Challenge. Good morning. How are you, Andy?
Hey, guys. How are you? That was my Lenny invitation. How was it?
Oh, yeah.
How you doing, guys?
We thought it was Lenny. I thought Lubie picked up the wrong phone, which is impossible since we only have one phone line. All right, Andy, you have 1 point. You're in the game. Good to hear from you.
I'll go with A. I'll go with A to make it official.
Good.
Good job.
Okay. Baseball, Andy, true or false? Former NFL wide receiver Golden Tate is pulling a Tim Tebow, signing as a baseball player with the Port Angeles Lefties of the West Coast League. True or false?
Yeah, it's a team. You can only play if you're left-handed. I'll go with true.
True?
It is true.
Oh,
it
nice
is
job,
true.
man.
Yeah, he's going to make it try at baseball.
Good job there, Inspector Clouseau. 2 for 2, going for 5.
All right, NBA. What player did Celtics general manager Red Auerbach try to pick a fight with during a 1983 preseason game? Was that Mark Iavaroni, Moses Malone, Julius Erving, or Isaiah Thomas?
I don't know, Iavaroni.
Iavaroni.
No, Iavaroni was the cause of the disturbance, but he tried to pick a fight with Moses Malone, believe it or not. Iavaroni boxed out Bird, and Larry Bird sucker punched Iavaroni, and then when Malone went in to get there, Auerbach tried to step in between and go after Malone. Not a wise decision.
That's a move.
Boy, that's a mismatch. Who set that fight up? Don King? I mean,
yeah, exactly.
It sounds like one of those Don King prelims, right? All right, going for
5-point question.
7 points here altogether, Andy. Good luck with this one.
All right, perhaps one of the most controversial people today in golf is Greg Norman, but he is also, during his playing days, the only player to lose all 4 majors in a playoff. Who beat him in extra holes at the PGA Championship? Wow. Was that Bob Tway?
I know that one.
Robert Gomez, Paul Azinger, or Lanny Watkins?
Tway.
Tway. No?
No, it was the broadcaster, I think, does a nice job. Paul Azinger did it.
Oh, Azinger. Wow. Wasn't Tway, what was that? The U.S. Open? He blasted out of sand there on 16 or something and holed out.
Was another
and put Norman in the hole. All right. All right, Andy, also tallied, too, along with Lenny the Chronic. So right now we have a little bit of a dead heat, and we might have a dead phone line there at 954-417-0070, 954-417-0070. Great time to get in here on the program and contest the Hialeah Park Trivia Challenge for the Landlubber's gift certificate, where an honorary chair awaits Dave Gurgles Gurgley. And you know, that would be something. I mean, for you to show up there, I mean, it would be like having Pat Sajak show up as you were playing a Wheel of Fortune slot machine, and Vanna was looking over your other shoulder and wishing you good luck.
Well, I did show up a couple of weeks ago and help Lenny's team finish out of the money, and several of the other teams gave me $5 a piece to join their team so I could tank them. Worked out great. I don't mind doing a tank job.
So after all these years of doing a show, you actually ended up being a chronic? Dave Gergis gurgling?
An honorary chronic, I guess. But it was. By the way, you got to go. Lubie and the professor are really entertaining. My only suggestion would be to have something printed at each table with, if you love it here at Landlubbers, why not get involved with the trivia challenge with Defo and Lubie on Thursdays and win a gift certificate? If that's on each table, maybe they could tell people how to get on, and we wouldn't be hurting for callers. What do you think?
No, not really hurting. It's just the system is a little bit slow since we only have the one phone line.
But wouldn't you rather have more people from Lubie's show on Thursdays also join yours? Why not?
Lubie not big on self-promotion. He's one of these humble guys, stays quiet in the background. No. I mean, if anybody was going to get a megaphone out and go, listen to the show, it would be Lubie, which is kind of, unfortunately, it's not necessarily my bag, but, it's what you have to do in this modern day of broadcasting.
Right. It's a great idea.
You don't have like NBC behind you, to start things out, where you have this giant platform. So you're going to create one for yourself. I think the people will find us, though, and that's good. Eric out of nowhere calling in the show this morning off a YouTube channel. Good. So that was fantastic. All right. Gurgles, we were ready with our next set of questions here.
Oh, beautiful. Okay, let's go.
I was trying to read through all these messages, and I was going to do a spot for Perdomo Cigars, but I see we're all set up here, so it's good.
Okay. Boxing. This fight manager on one of his less talented but very determined fighters said, the bum was up and down so many times, I thought he was an Otis elevator. What's that? Harry Kabakov, Dave Zinkoff, Mike Westhoff, or Boris Karloff?
Julius Erving. Zinkoff, man. It was great. All right, here's the random phone scrambler. It lands on Mike. Mike, welcome to the Hialeah Park Trivia Challenge, my friend.
Good morning, eh?
It is correct. Welcome back, so far, so good on those first questions.
All right, Mike, this is kind of a cross-sports question. Joe Buck, just this past week, made a hole-in-one at the St. Louis Country Club near his home. It was his first ever hole-in-one, and it was on a course that he learned to play with his dad, Jack Buck. True or false?
False.
That's what I would say.
Yeah, that's false. Did
he even play golf? I mean,
I don't know.
He's just too busy counting money, this guy. What are you talking about?
Yeah, no doubt about it.
What, for 18 games? I mean, Jack Buck must be rolling over in his grave thinking, he's not as good as I was.
Definitely not.
Kid's making more money. No, he'd be a proud father. All right. Can't believe what I just saw, the ESPN contract. All right. Here we go. Now for 3 points.
2 going for 5.
Yeah.
Here we go. NBA, who was the last player to score over 30 points in every game of an NBA Finals series? Was that Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, LeBron James, or Shaquille O'Neal?
I'll say LeBron.
LeBron.
Now, go back to Shaquille O'Neal in the year 2000 in the 6-game series, over 30 in each of the games.
I was going to say that, although it's easy to say now after you've already given the answer. Yeah. By the way, if you miss the green here on your approach shot, I just saw 2 balls completely disappear about 2 yards short of the green on whatever hole these guys were playing here. So this is one of those tournaments that could turn around in an instant, right? One bad hole in your El Finito. All right, going for 7 points here, which we've had 3 guys climb to this level of excellence, and all fall by the wayside so far, or 2 of them. So see if we can make it 1 for 3. Here we go.
All right, baseball. Who was the last Los Angeles Dodger player to be named All-Star Game MVP? Right. Cody Bellinger, Mike Piazza, Raul Mondesi, or Steve Sachs?
That.
I didn't hear it.
What do you think?
What did
you
say,
say? Yastrzemski? What did you say? Yaz?
Steve Sachs.
Oh, Sachs.
Steve Sachs.
No. It was Mike Piazza. And by the way, our sympathies go out to Steve Sachs. His son was killed in that tragic Air Force accident out in California. In the Air Force with a test plane. It was his son that passed away last week. But it was Mike Piazza in 1996.
Interestingly, less than a year ago,
hang on, Mike.
Lubie and I had Steve Sachs on the air. for an interview, and he was a very interesting guy. He was doing some new things, and he talks openly about that Steve Blass disease that he had there, where he couldn't find first base with a throw with a compass, and and that, I mean, imagine at Dodger Stadium, no less. Just complete ugliness. And, I mean, we'd seen other people have that same syndrome, right? Mackie Sasser couldn't get the ball back to the pitcher. Chuck Knobloch, remember, he couldn't find first base either. How weird is that when all of a sudden you just go tin cup and you've got the yips? All right, Lubie, what do you think? You want to play another
I'm getting
one
the
more?
final set. I think it's going to be...
Oh, the final set. Okay, good.
Andy and
all right.
Mike. Andy and Mike.
Andy and Mike are going to contest the finals here. Give us another word about Perdomo Cigars, Dave, because really, I mean, it's a fine company, and really founded on a great principle and integrity.
Two great traditions, Perdomo Cigars in Hialeah Park. I'm going to combine both of them Friday afternoon when I go out to Hialeah Park, that little simulcasting, and I'll go out on the veranda facing the Citation statue, which I think you and I own 20% of through Paulie, and I'll have a nice Perdomo cigar.
You think they'll ever breed that statue
you're in Hialeah,
to another statue? Like a Michelangelo or something? Yeah.
Paulie has been selling breeding shares to Funny Side. I don't know if that's going to work or not. That might be a little tough.
Louis, Lenny was standing on his grave or something, he just said, like what he called it.
That's right.
All right, Perdomos.
Yep. Anyway, Perdomo Cigars, 305-627-6700, 6700, the number to call. And it's on the bottom of the screen. Well done, Lubie, with that crawl. And also, you can go there in person at 5150 Northwest 167th Street. Only 2 shopping days, well, 3 counting today, left for Father's Day. Today or tomorrow, get to Perdomo Cigars. If you're not sure what cigar your dad likes, they offer a variety pack with 5 different cigars, or take a box of his favorite cigars and get them at Perdomo Cigars. If you're stuck for anything else, get him a humidor, lighter, or a gift card from Perdomo Cigars. Father's Day is an important day, and why not give your dad the very best? When you care enough to give the very best, it's not Hallmark, it's Perdomo Cigars.
Special hello to our good friend Pat Fox, regular player of the game over the many years.
Recent birthday. Happy birthday, Pat.
And acting career that's blossoming. I don't even think, what was it? He's acing out like Bradley Cooper for feature films, this guy. And we knew him when he used to come out to our Hooters trivia tour that we had going there a long time ago, which was, quite a bit of fun, actually, and a testament to the popularity of the game. It was interesting, too. I mean, Polyman, I think, still harbors not bitterness, but a little bit, when you're sort of appalled by something. When one of the guys from the station took like 100 wings to go, taking advantage of the freebie tab that they were offering there. I mean, that was worse than when you guys got aced out at all that food at Shula's. When I took one of my friends out for a lobster dinner there, and they ate up like $600 in trade. All right, we're ready for the finals here. What'd you say? You had you had Mike and Andy, right? Yes. Going to contest the finals here. So the Chronic lost out on the draw of the short straws.
Behind the scenes draw, yes.
Unfortunate, but he'll be in live action with Lubie tonight at Landlubbers and Plantation. Yes, if you want to go over there and see what that's all about. Sounds like a raucous good time.
It's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Girls had a good time.
Unbelievable time.
Yeah.
And they get there early because the food is spectacular.
The food's great.
I had to peel and eat shrimp with a nice cold Guinness. And then afterwards, they had their cheeseburger special on Thursday night is to die for. It rivals Le Tub, believe it or not.
Wow.
And the food is great. Burger. And the thing is, they have almost more people working there than their capacity crowd can handle. You order a cheeseburger, man, it's ready to go and rock and roll. Food is really good, and the entertainment is great too. Great place to go.
Yeah, we have a lot of fun.
On top of that, yeah. I just saw, was that McElroy blasted out of sand? That was great. All right, here we go with the, I have them. That's why I'm concerned. Here we go. With every shot counts when you're gambling. Every shot counts. You don't want to be left in the gate here. You want to get all your guys off to a good start. All right, Dave's got a question. You guys call out your name if you want to answer. Nobody answers right away. We offer multiple choice. First person to call out his name gets first shot. We go back and forth till we have a winner to crown a champion. Without further ado, here's Dave Gurgles Gurgling.
All right, baseball. St. Louis Cardinals pitcher Miles Mikolas is the first pitcher to lose a no-hitter with 2 outs in the 9th inning since...
Ooh. I think it happened like the day before. All right, here are the choices.
Yep. What's that? Dave Steve, Michael Wacha, Reed Detmers, or Sean Newcomb?
Oh. With no Sean Newcomb.
I'll go with
Andy.
Andy.
I'll go with the third one. I'll go with the third one. Read something.
Third one. C.
Reed Detmers?
Yeah, Reed Detmers.
All right.
Yeah, no Reed
Three
Detmers.
left for Mike.
Okay.
3 left for Mike to win this game.
Dave Steve, Michael Wacha, or Sean Newcomb?
Steve.
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 No.
Incorrect. Two left. 2 left for Andy. I think it's Waka, I believe.
It is Waka.
Michael Wacha.
Yeah,
Michael Waka.
Yeah, it's Waka.
Or Sean
Waka.
Newcomb.
I'll go with Newcomb.
Don Newcomb, he thinks.
That's right.
And it was, yes.
There you go.
July 29th, 2018, he went 8 2/3 before the Dodgers' Chris Taylor got a hit.
Congrats, guys. Andy, man, thanks for playing.
Andy,
and Mike,
wins
thanks
the
for
championship.
playing.
And
Congrats,
that saves Lubie mailing out the gift card because he usually
he doesn't want it.
just says, hey, you guys do enough for us. All right. That's great. Gurgles, you have a great week. How'd you make out in the Belmont? Any good?
That Mo Donegal was my horse after the Derby, and I bet a couple bucks on him. I liked him.
All right, very good. All right, always good to see you, and in great spirits as always.
Love you.
Gurgles Gurgley, his first appearance on the new South Florida Live channel with the Hialeah Park Trivia Challenge. Perdomo Cigars, support them, and happy Father's Day to everybody out there. Get yourself a Perdomo cigar.
So when I tell everybody, do they still go to the Defo show, or is it South Florida?
They can do both. I mean, you can look up the Defo show live. You can look up South Florida Live or Defo show with Lubie. I'm sorry. Defo show with Lubie, South Florida Live. Facebook pages.
I'll spread the word.
As well. There you go.
It's everywhere, man. It's growing like a weed. It really is. All right, thanks,
Perfect.
Dave. Always a pleasure. Dave Gurgles Gurgley.
See you next week.
All right, we'll get to the bottom of one of the great betting mysteries of all time. And we were tipped off on this by the great Jim Sarney, a longtime sports writer, as I mentioned, a good friend of the program here, gives us all kinds of interesting stuff to contemplate. And I'm wondering where Jim's eyeballs are this morning. I hope he has like dueling screens because, there's great tennis action taking place. Yesterday's match there, Kyrgios and Tsitsipas, remember I mentioned that as we were signing off yesterday?
Yes.
It was just about to start, right? So I decided I'm going to stay home and watch a lot of this match. Man, it was great. I mean, and Kyrgios pulled the upset off against Tsitsipas, who, Stefanos Tsitsipas, the Greek player, is ranked like number 3 or 4 in the world. And he might be a little lower than that. But, I mean, just looks like he's ready to break through at any time. And he can't get by somehow. Some of these preliminary matches, he's been getting upset in those matches. But, just a dogged fight. And you know how Kyrgios is, man. He's yelling the whole time at somebody. I don't even know. I think he has imaginary people that he plays with in his head. I really believe this. And, he's cursing out the referee for being blind, the chair umpire. And then, in the middle of like tense points, he's doing trick shots. It was fantastic. And he always has to throw in one of the underhand serves, right? Because now guys play like their back is against the wall there. Like when a heavy hitter would come up and the ballpark wasn't big enough to contain his shot in a softball game. You're pressed against the wall if you're in the outfield. And then he'll throw in a little underhand job there that bounces like 3 times before it comes out of the box. And you can't help but look at the guy in disgust. It's just, is it an unwritten rule that you shouldn't do that in tennis?
No, tennis, it's not golf, but it's not like football where like you can yell a little, but there's still this decorum. So you're not, even when you play, there's a decorum. Like you're supposed to play a certain way and speak a certain way.
Like you're playing a guy with 2 bad knees like Dr. Jerry and you just decide to throw drop shot after drop shot at him. Yeah.
Especially if you're playing for fun.
Oh, you got to that, Dr. Jerry. Nice job there. I think you touched the net. Then you call him for touching the net.
You're an asshole.
After this guy, this cripple, runs like 30 yards forward or whatever it is. I don't know. I guess it's not that long. 10 yards forward at the highest of speeds that he can generate, and then gets a great shot back, and then touches the net, and you take the point. Does that count in recreational tennis when the guy touches the net? Because I would never call that.
I never call it. ever thought to call that. Even knew it was a rule.
Right. I mean, would you rather a guy just, break his ankle trying to stop so you could save 1 point in a tennis game, or just go ahead and touch the freaking net? All right, Lenn Robbins coming up. I mean, if there was a guy that was inclined to bend the rules, it would be Lenn Robbins.
Oh,
now,
he's right.
What is the name of this organization again? That
right there.
With the betting
Bet Basics. It's right there.
Bet Basics, yeah. And they're giving out all kinds of interesting information. Of course you spelled it wrong, Lubie, because you still have this instinct to sabotage the show so that you can ultimately take it over, which
doesn't help me.
Respect that.
I have a lot going on right now. I don't want you going anywhere. There's a lot going on. I need all the help I can get.
I'm in the middle of all of it.
I know the help I can
get. Such ugliness, as they say.
Oh, it's good.
Tomorrow we'll have a Degenerate Friday, and that includes a professor and a big board, and also the Gambling Gourmet, Mike Mayo, who was, not overwhelmingly
He's new to this.
About
He's new to having
to
try and read what they're saying and how you can make it like he's not.
I understood what the guy was saying completely.
You've been doing this for 40 years. Even when things are good in radio, you have to like code what the fuck they're saying and figure out, okay, what do I do with what they just said? Like,
well, I mean, the easy thing for this guy to say would have been, "Hey, you're out of here. Thanks very much."
Exactly. As long as they don't say that, which we finally got in the middle of September. It's good news because as long like you've always told me, as long as you have a microphone, which we still do,
you need a platform.
You're okay. Yeah. You're okay.
Now the good news is you can create your own, and then you don't need the atrocious intrusion of people who you wonder your entire career how the hell they got jobs.
That's a whole other thing.
And to maintain it after demonstrating just a history of lameness and pathetic results. Burying station after station all at once, and then going to meetings and beating themselves on the chest. You know what? We're a real team here, and all of you guys that are on the microphone and talent side,
you count and you matter.
You are the lifeblood of what's going on here.
That was always my favorite. It's the equivalent of the owner / GM giving a pat on the back to the coach.
Jim Jones thing, man. And no, it really is, man. It's like go drink the Kool-Aid, my friends.
Yeah, exactly.
Here we go. I want all of your belongings. I want you to put your complete financial trust in us. That we won't crush you like a grape and immediately cut your rather fat, inflated salary off in one move from one day to the next with no warning. It's the way it goes in this racket. That's why you have to anticipate the worst, and that wasn't the worst that could have happened.
No.
By any means, Lubie. I mean,
I know.
From the guy's position, I had to say it was very fair. So we'll have to communicate that to May. Although it's his decision. It really is. All right, we're hoping everything works out. Let's put it that way.
We'll figure it out. We always do.
Position it in a favorable light. That's
That's in our life, yes.
I know the boat doesn't have an engine. It's a small consideration. There are other means of, getting this thing to move. Okay. You still want it? Lenn Robbins coming up to get to the bottom of the mystery of why are the New York Jets the hot commodity. And when it comes to Super Bowl preseason betting, which I find I would be willing to book every one of those bets. I really would, Libby.
I mean, also NBA Finals Game 6 is tonight, and he's covered the NBA for decades. And
I forgot about that. You know what?
The Cup Finals was last night, and he's covered hockey for decades. He's covered literally every sport for decades. So
it is true. Well, once the Heat were eliminated there, and I like both teams. I like Boston and Golden State.
Well, they're playing it once a week. That's the issue. Is they're playing it once a week.
I forgot it was tonight. I really did.
Yeah, I mean, what are you supposed to do with
Mr. Sports over here? All right, we'll clear the sports desk. And, we'll get into some heavy topics here with Lenn Robbins coming up. Although I don't know that Lenn takes anything any more seriously than we do.
Probably less.
I think, maybe he has to in some of the jobs that he's had. But, I think that's why he digs doing this. So Lenn Robbins is going to join us next year. And the name of the thing, once again, is you didn't put it up there, Libby. You have Mike on the line is the last communication I got from you. So Bet Basics. There it is. All right. He's coming up in just a few minutes here on the Defo Show. Lubie Lubitz doing a fine job there at Master Control. And I'm here and ready to ramble and rumble with Lenn Robbins of Bet Basics in a moment. Now that. I guess I was rambling. It's 8:34. Ponies in Style at Champions, the outstanding simulcasting room at beautiful Hialeah Park. Yes, the grand old lady of thoroughbred racing has never been more vibrant, and you can wager on the races from the top tracks around the country while enjoying a cocktail at the Brass Rail Bar or any of the fine food served throughout the facility. If poker is your game, you're covered in Style, and you can play all your favorite Vegas-style games, including blackjack, craps, and roulette, in Hialeah Park's sizzling hot casino. Get a player's card when you walk through the door for all kinds of generous amenities, including our favorite, free play, when you come out to the ultimate casino and entertainment destination, Hialeah Park.
Hey folks, Tony Segreto here. Since day one, Catholic Health Services has been part of Old School. And since we've started letting people know about them, it's changed their lives. You see, Catholic Health Services, while being recognized as one of the top places for stroke rehab in the country, it's also about a group of people who not just excel in what they do, from the doctors to the nurses to the therapist, on and on and on. It's how they do what they do every single day that separates them from the pack. They do it with a passion, unmatched, and the inclusion of family in every step of the process. Trust me when I tell you this. If you want the best, unmatched rehab with a special group of skilled, caring people, there is truly only one place, and that one place is Catholic Health Services.
These days, we're all looking for comfort anywhere we can find it. Thank goodness for Landlubbers Raw Bar and Grill in the Plantation location, because they are making sure you are as comfortable as possible. First of all, they're not only open for delivery and pickup. All you have to do is go to landlubbersbarandgrill.com for both pickup and free delivery. Their hours have changed a little bit. Monday through Thursday from 3:30 to 10, and Friday, Saturday, and Sunday from 11:30 to 10. You're going to have the best wings in the world. You're going to have a great burger. You're going to have their amazing soups. Again, Landlubbers Raw Bar and Grill. It's nice and easy. Just go to landlubbersbarandgrill.com for both your pickup and free delivery. Thank goodness for Landlubbers for making you always feel right at home.
This comes from the great Defo Lama. It's the bets you don't make, the chances you don't take, that can compromise an otherwise incredible life, my friend.
The only way to get your morning started is with Defo, joined by Lubie, right here on the Defo Show.
We opened the show this morning. Welcome back to the show, the Defo Show here on South Florida Live. Jeff DeForest, Mike Lubie Lubitz, and we opened the show this morning by uncorking the mystery of what has happened with the New York Jets, and also getting involved in a prop bet here on the U.S. Open. And there's nobody better to help us analyze, illuminate, and or dissect some of these major issues in sports than from Bet Basics, our good friend, and we love having him on any platform that we're performing on here, Lenn Robbins, who was a longtime sports writer with the New York Post. I fell in love with his work there, and we have just enjoyed every conversation with the great Lenn Robbins, who joins us on the show right now. Lenn, how are you, my friend?
Doing well. Another fascinating introduction on your end. I have no idea what you guys are talking about, so this will be a really interesting show.
Yeah, neither we. I mean, I don't know how big you are into golf, but I'm watching the early results because I have action on this U.S. Open here. And but this, is a rarity. It kind of reminded me of like the '87 NFL strike, when like a guy's best friend had to like blow by Dan Marino to get to work because he was a scab during the work stoppage here. And now you have these live tour guys that are taking the Saudi money. And it was, a gigantic pot of capital, hard to turn down if you're some washed up European has-been that's being offered $100 million to play 8 tournaments. But a lot of resentment between the PGA guys that stayed and they're going to tough it out and do the right thing, and these live tour guys. And I got a prop bet going that Brooks Koepka and Bryson DeChambeau, who hate each other anyway, and now are on opposite sides of this argument, will be paired up with Don King as the third man in their threesome, because I have a bet that Koepka will punch out somebody before this tournament is over. I don't know. What do you think? Do I have a shot here?
I can't believe it. You beat me to the punch. I was going to break news this morning that both of them have also joined WWE.
There it is.
So now that they're on.
McMahon is involved, although he's laying low right now because of some lawsuit.
Yeah, $3 million in hush money. Wouldn't that be fascinating, right? To have like both of them, like, the PGA Tour, the Live Tour, and WWE. They could fight on like a Tuesday night, right? They'd fly back from tournaments, right? On Monday morning, they could fight Tuesday night, and then they've got to be at the next tournament by Monday, to play a practice round. I think this is marketing genius. I really do. I want to see how much money WWE comes up with to lure these guys.
It's funny, though, because
I'm very serious about this.
Yeah, I mean, it wouldn't be surprising if McMahon found an angle to make money with, even if it was just voodoo dolls of Bryson DeChambeau. But you're not expecting hostility and acrimony. I mean, I'm sure there are golfers that don't like each other. We know that this thing with DeChambeau and Koepka was sort of ugly from a verbal standpoint, before this whole Live Tour defection. But I mean, it's hard to imagine that there were like 20 guys in this tournament that all took the so-called Saudi blood money. And I don't know. I mean, you're not expecting this kind of acrimony to exist hovering over a golf tournament, especially the one that is steeped in tradition like the U.S. Open.
Well, first of all, it took me a while to come to my senses, but when I got married for the third time, I had hostility and acrimony written into the vows.
The rabbi was spieling about acrimony instead of alimony, yeah.
This way, there'd be no misunderstanding. Like 3 weeks in, when she turned to me and said, what is this spit? I'd say, hey, just read the fine print, baby. Hostility and acrimony.
Yes. 2 words that should be in every prenuptial. Yeah.
I totally get it. If Joe Schmo from Kokomo and you're number 138 on the tour and you have a chance to get guaranteed money, okay, go, right? I got it, right? But these guys who've already won majors, or these guys are in, let's say, the top 100, they can win a tour event. I have absolutely no empathy, no sympathy for them whatsoever, But my hope is that none of them get beheaded, but they get incarcerated for a couple of months after they say something negative about the Live Tour, and then they realize, wow, and we thought the PGA shackled us. At least we're not in we're not in an 8x10 in Riyadh or something.
French prisoner Papillon, yeah. I mean, you'll get nothing and like it. No, very, very interesting all the way around the entire scenario here. So we'll see how that unfolds. All right, I also mentioned a mystery in the introduction to Lenn Robbins here from Bet Basics, and the mystery is this, and this maybe you have some kind of extrapolation or you did some Pythagorean theory work with the numbers and can figure out why are the Jets and why have they dropped from 200 to 1 to 100 to 1 to win the Super Bowl when you would have to think that only a crazy person, or some diehard fan that just routinely plunked like 100 down at the beginning of every season, didn't mind being down like 4,000 or whatever it is since 1969, is betting the Jets. But would there be a reason, in your opinion, Lenn Robbins, for that kind of a line move, except for maybe it's early action and maybe the Sheik himself plunked down some of that Live Tour money on the Jets to win the Super Bowl?
I think I got this one for you, actually. Zach Wilson, who'll be going into his second year as a starting quarterback for the Jets, was spotted at the Yankee game with his third blonde. Okay?
Wow.
Like when he was coming out of BYU, he had been dating, some very attractive blonde young lady, and then she kind of disappeared, like I don't know, Saudi Arabian journalist.
Yeah.
And then he was spotted with another blonde on his arm. Right, she's gone too. So last night, the Post couldn't even find out who she was. If the Post can't find out who you are, you're either in witness protection or you're walking around with Luca Brasi, right?
Won't be seeing him around here no more.
So,
yeah.
Right. So the odds makers are thinking that if Wilson is this much of a player off the field, maybe it's time for him to become a player on the field. It's the best I got for you.
That actually makes a lot of sense.
I don't know, but maybe he suffers from Matt Harvey syndrome or something, where, he's at the boxing match there at the Barclays Center, and he's got like Adriana Lima draped all over him, and the next day she's with like Wes Welker or something. Who was the guy that followed him?
Like Edelman. I think it was Edelman.
Edelman, yeah. He's with like a little Jewish receiver from the Patriots. You're Matt Harvey, the king of New York. He snapped after that, man. I mean, it was worse than Kobayashi when he was getting beaten all the time in the hot dog eating contest. Just snapped.
You're the only one that I know who can go from Jewish receiver to Kobayashi. That's the only person in the world who could possibly draw that connection.
Chestnut blew him out.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
the spring. And the only way to bring that full cycle is to think that Kobayashi was eating kosher hot dogs, right?
And that may have been his undoing. That's very possible, Len. See, you said if with your affiliations and ties to the Post, that you would be the one who would get to the bottom of that. That's for sure.
Here's what I want to know: how do you train for the Nathan's hot dog eating contest? What's the training like?
Eat a lot.
They eat a lot. Yeah, no, they actually do like a sparring session. Chestnut has a whole crew of sparring partners like he was Larry Holmes. It's amazing.
And who's in your entourage, right? Like if you're a boxer, you have a guy who's in charge of the spit bucket, right?
Yeah.
If you're a Nathan's hot dog eating guy, do you have a guy who's in charge of a puke bucket?
You got the vomit bucket, yeah.
Is on the floor by the side of your chair as you're wolfing down these dogs, and somebody's got to empty it every 30 minutes or something.
Lou Duva sponges you off in the corner and tells you to go get him this time because we're running out of rounds, kid. Yeah.
Really, what's more dangerous, COVID or Lou Duva sponging you off?
Lou didn't know which fighter was in the corner there. He thought everybody was Boom Boom Mancini. It's amazing. Lenn Robbins of Bet Basics with us here on the show. All right, you had to dig. I know you cover a lot of jet events, and this Mekhi Becton press conference, and the shirt was pictured and depicted in the New York Post today. And I have to say, I got a kick out of it. A guy that's not afraid to, poke a little fun at himself with the reporters like that.
Yeah. What do you have on the front of that shirt again?
Big bust.
Big
was like the centerpiece of it.
Right,
and then circling the big bust were all the things, fat, lazy, out of shape, loser, all of the things that people have said about him, after he had like a really good rookie season. And then you talk about being spirited away. I mean, what the hell happened to him after week 8 of, this injury where he was, diagnosed? Usually you're thinking the guy might get back even sooner. And they diagnose him as being 4 to 8 with a knee injury. And the next thing you know, it's like 4 to 8 years that he's out.
Right. I think you should have those T-shirts, trademark, copyrighted, and sold, because I would buy one simply because that's how I feel after every one of the Triple Crown races, right? Big bust.
It was a bit of a mystery for us. Yeah.
What was it last year, right? The Kentucky Derby winner got DQ'd, right?
Yes.
Last year?
Yeah.
Yeah, so of course, I had him. I won the Kentucky Derby for for 2 minutes, right? For 2 or 3 minutes, and then bust. There goes that. And the problem with me is, and I would suspect that you guys might have the same problem. As soon as I believe I've won, I've already spent the money.
Yeah,
I'm already on to the next baller, right? Yeah.
That was one of the rare times that I benefited.
I don't have a gambling problem. I have a problem gambling.
That's funny that you mentioned that, because I was about to go on one of these Altacocker freebie trips that they offer us from Harrah's in Atlantic City, where they fly you naturally out of Palm Beach, because the dynamic there, the demographic is slightly higher than it would be, say, in Broward County where we live. And you're going with a bunch of blue hairs up to Atlantic City on a plane. And they gave us a number to call, and the number to call actually was a gambling counseling line. So I don't know. Is that a new campaign? I mean, because that seemed odd, didn't it? That you're trying to make arrangements to go to some degenerate location, and they have you on with somebody that's saying, "So how bad is it, man? I mean, how much did you lose on the Belmont?"
It's still better than having to call JetBlue customer service when you get that email telling you that your flight's changed. Right?
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah,
you're trying to get from New York. You're trying to get from New York to Cancun, which is a direct flight, right? And next thing you know, you're routed through Brisbane.
Yeah.
Australia, right?
You pick up Cameron Smith on the way and tell him, "Hey, go get him in the open here, because I used him in my pool."
By the way,
yes.
You know what the best story is, and it's gone so under-publicized and reported. I'm just baffled by it. What's the guy's name? Is it the guy who snuck in to
Oh yeah,
the arena,
the fake clay.
Thompson.
Yes,
right, and actually like got up shots.
I have his name. It was Gurley was his last name. Dawson Gurley.
Right, Dawson Gurley, right?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Which, by the way, which sounds like any high school pitcher coming out of like Georgia.
Yes, it
Yeah,
does.
here comes Dawson Gurley to the mound. I tell you what, he hasn't given up a run in
Middle of
27
Omaha.
consecutive innings. Holy Mel Stoudemire. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, I was at the Met game. I was at the Met game last night with my son.
Did they win it?
Mets have been playing really good. I'll get there, right?
Yeah.
Like, Mets have been playing really well, right? So of course I go there.
Mm-hmm.
Mets pitchers hit Brewers batters more than the Mets scored runs.
Oh, geez.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's
they
ugliness.
hit 3 batters. Mets scored 2 runs. They lost 10-2, right?
Wow.
So there goes that. But I mean, see, I'm from the Tom Izzo under 5'9" school, right? Tom's the vice president. So I can't sneak onto an NBA court because, like Muggsy Bogues isn't playing anymore, right? But how impressive is that the guy got a jersey? He does look a lot like Clay.
He does?
And what I'm wondering is...
He got a jersey?
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, he had a Golden State jersey, right? He looked the part, right? He does look somewhat like Klay Thompson. And what I'm wondering, though, is, like, anyone who's been to an NBA shoot-around, like, these guys knock down 11, 12, 13 threes in a row, right?
Sure.
When this guy started airballing, like, 12 foot...
That's how Clay was in games 1 and 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, they thought it was him.
Like... Nobody on the Golden State bench looked over and said, maybe we shouldn't start Clay tonight.
What if they kicked the real Clay out
That'd be great if
of
like,
the
no,
arena? We used to have like guys that did impersonations come on, and one of our favorite episodes of that was I had a friend that, oddly enough, when he wasn't very well known, did a dead-on impression of Jeremy Schaap of ESPN. And then we had the real Jeremy Schaap on, and he was aware that we had this character playing him on the air because, we made like a Meshuggah Jeremy Schaap up. And, the big thing was his sign-off always sounded like this. It would be Jeremy Schaap, ESPN. It was just a way he drained off that end. So Schaap came on, and actually we had dueling Schaps on, and the people voted as to who was the real Schaap, and they voted the phony Schaap as the real Schaap. So that could have happened where Thompson gets kicked out of the arena
because he doesn't look like
and
the
then
fake
arrested, for impersonating an NBA player.
Guy. Oh my God!
Wouldn't that be a story and a half?
That'd be great,
right?
That'd be so
That'd
great.
Right?
We were just talking about sneaking into ball games, though, and then the guy pulled this off, which was like the D.D. Cooper of all kinds of, either showing up as somebody that you aren't or disappearing altogether. All right, I know you have to run. Quick thought now. How much pleading is Brian Cashman doing with the agent for Aaron Judge to just say? And has he brought out pictures of Lisa Meanwell to kind of emphasize his position that he feels like he's really up against it in this spot?
Yeah, look, I thought the Yankees made a big mistake from the get-go, right? When they just didn't give him Mike Trout money, if you will. Right now, you can make a case that he's the best hitter in baseball and one of the 3 best all-around players in baseball. It's going to cost the Yankees big time. It's going to cost them big time. And you know what? Judge is the right kind of guy to do this, right? Because he's the face of the Yankees, right? He's kind of like Derek Jeter with a little bit of personality.
John Cena has already signed up to play him in the Life Story, man. He just looks like that Paul Bunyan-esque type of guy. Jeter in a Subway sandwich commercial. If you ever run into him at a local Subway there, Lenn Robbins, say hello for us and tell him we miss him with the Marlins. All right, always a pleasure, my friend. I know you have to run. Bet basics, my friend. Bet basics.
Yeah, but real quick, right? You have to appreciate the amount of money that Subway is pouring into celebrity endorsements. They have everyone. They have Tom Brady, Steph Curry, John Cena. Right,
it's amazing.
The fake Klay Thompson. Go have a great show, guys.
Serena stops in, and says, "Hey, Simone Biles, who doesn't even eat, she comes into Subway and has herself a vegetable, on rye." All right, thanks, Len. Always a pleasure, my friend.
We love you, Len. Thank you, my friend.
Guys, pleasure of mine. Take care.
All right, Lenn Robbins, ladies and gentlemen. Bet Basics, always great, longtime columnist, New York Post. And one of my favorites, college basketball, college football. Lenn Robbins' work is just
Well, he
impeccable.
did every. Well, that's the thing is, it was NBA,
Yeah.
NFL. He covered hockey. He's literally covered everything because he was like the New York Post main guy, and then also ESPN would have him on with the sports reporters, and he would be a guy that they'd go to whenever it was New York Plus. You know, like he covered everything for a long
always great, man.
time.
And he had the New York Extra thing going now, Bet Basics, so he's involved in all of this. I don't know. I mean, is it possible that Koepka actually throws a punch at one of these live players? Because he's just sick of it.
100%.
I mean, and he seems to have that kind of attitude, right? Doesn't he? He's got a little bit of a, I mean, it's not uncommon, I guess, for some golfers to have kind of a jerk attitude, but Koepka,
Koepka
sort of represents that, doesn't he?
Well, doesn't he blow off his own girl? Isn't that the thing you used to make fun of him
Blue
for?
Ray
Like,
Player, yeah.
he
Blue
would
Ray
win.
Player when he
She's great
won
looking.
another major. Yeah. But
He
this
just
hot
said
babe wants to
screw.
plant one on his cheek, and he's just like, not now, baby. I'm on TV.
And that's literally the time. That's the only time you pretend like you care about
Every
your
other
girl.
golfer, they run into their arms like they were on a
Exactly.
bachelorette.
Even
on the first
Tiger,
week.
in the middle of her just hitting him over the head, was like, "Where's Elin?"
Yeah. Looking for the kids, not Koepka. Straight to the clubhouse. I got to sign a card. Give me my check. I'm out of
Exactly.
here.
Get the hell out.
Drives off with John Daly to some Hooters. Incredible. All right. We like Daly, though. I mean, he's a very, very sympathetic character. And, see, because if you're real, people will accept you for all of the warmth that you happen to, have to deal with in your lifetime. All right. Speaking of which,
I just love that the show's ending and we haven't talked about the NBA Finals literally at all.
All right. What do you think tonight? I see Boston winning it. I'm rooting for Boston because of our good friend Sheldon G, who's such a believer.
Oh, his money, yeah.
Oh my God, he had like $50,000 to win $70,000 on the Celtics for the series, and now he's gone back and at like plus 350, put a little taste for him, which would be like more money than I probably have in a bank right now. On the Celtics to still win the series in 7 at plus 350. To win 2 in a row, which, I mean, is that out of the question, Lubie? No.
No. I just don't see it. It's not out of the question. I mean, the game's being
balls to
contentious.
better right now. Yeah, I mean, that's what it takes to win, doesn't it? Big pair of brass ones, my friend.
It definitely
Sheldon
does.
G.
So good luck to him. He's the only reason, if I'm wrong, I'll be happy.
Did he sell an oil company or something?
I don't know.
How does he have this kind of cake?
He always looked like a simple guy, and that's fine. Just because you are simple doesn't mean you don't have a lot of money.
Humble guy, right?
You never would have known.
Yeah,
the way he
$32
gambles
on the race. Yeah.
I mean, the way he gambles, and again, it's at casino, so it's not like a bookie where you can pretend like you have the money.
No, you're wheeling a wheelbarrow full of cash up there.
Yeah, so I don't know.
There must be electronic transactions on this now, though. Can you do that at casinos? Can you do that?
Yeah,
with
but
casinos?
still, it has to be up front. Whatever.
No,
it is,
he's buying
it has to be
tickets,
up front.
though. You're right. He's buying a ticket. What do they do? Just like a bank transfer on some deal like that?
I don't know.
Okay, Lou, it went through.
Yeah.
Then,
no one's giving $100,000 a guy. You're not.
How come all pit bosses look the same? By the way.
100%. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like the same dude, carbon copy.
Yeah. They all look like they came out of being an extra in a restaurant scene in a mafia movie. Like the maitre d', right?
Like a bigger dude, sort of ball, has the hair.
Okay, yeah. Just have him sign. I always hate waiting for the guy to sign a marker. And do you feel any compassion for the guy signing the marker? Did he really bring no money there to begin with? Or is he already in the hole so much that he's lost his original bank and now has to sign for another $3,000?
Yeah, it's never someone that's flush. It's always a person that's chasing the money, which is the worst thing.
The Asian, people that play Baccarat, man, blow my mind, too, with the amount of money that they bet. My God. What kind of cash flow is there?
That's a great
in
question.
Japan and I guess would it be China also? Philippines? Are they playing Baccarat? I don't think so. It's not like you're seeing a bunch of people that are wearing Manny Pacquiao T-shirts to the table. No way. I mean, but every time you go by there, the guy's got like 8,000 on like player or bank. And whatever it is, it's always being wiped right off the table there in a bizarre fashion where you don't even understand what happened. Hey, who won? I don't even know. What was that, an 8? And then they bend the cards and they throw them in disgust even before the game is completed. They don't even know the outcome. And they like bend the cards, wad them up, and throw them in the dealer's face. It's the strangest thing. I'm getting ready for a couple of casino trips coming up.
I can tell.
One is in jeopardy of not happening because they literally did. We're supposed to call this place to trigger the freebie flight.
Yeah.
And it was a gambling counseling line.
Oh,
like
Jesus.
888 admitted.
That's such a great move.
Who's speaking, please? It's like, you don't want to be on the phone long enough for them to get your location.
Exactly,
like
to find you.
Matt Damon in a Born Identity or something, where you have to, put the plugs into the phone lines down at the plant so that, the location is scattered all over the city, and it starts coming in. First, they think they got you nailed, and then the next thing you know, the lights up that you're in Toledo, Ohio, while you're sitting there in Athens. Unbelievable. All right, great time being with you. All right, thanks to Dave Gurgles-Gurgley for the Hialeah Park Trivia Challenge.
Congrats,
nice job
Indy,
on
man.
that by Gurgles. And also Lenn Robbins for being with us. Always a lot of fun. And once again, too, the new location, spread the word, South Florida Live. I see it's being shared out there on Facebook and all that
doing
stuff.
some stuff. If you have some time later on at 12 o'clock, we will join the Gambling Gourmet for a little lunchbox action.
I hope he's in a better mood. I think he got cheered up. He went to Cafe Seville last night.
Oh, he said it. He
had his stuffed pork chop, or veal chop. Stuffed veal chop, is that it? Yeah. Stuffed veal chop, and he loves that. And Joey does a great job. Degenerate that he is, they just bought a couple of racehorses.
Nice.
Like babies at the sale. Man, that's really getting in some grassroots horse ownership. I had those couple of horses there with Top Hat Thoroughbreds, a little piece.
Mm-hmm.
I managed to turn 10 grand into 3. That was great.
It's like Miami coin. We'll turn your billion into a million.
Oh, we love the concept, though. I mean, you know what? If it's going to cost you a few dollars and you have that much fun, I guess, if you have discretionary capital, it's good. But, wow, I mean, buying a baby. Oh, my God, you should see this golf course is carved out of the wilderness here, Brookline. It's incredible. Nothing else in the area looks anything like the way that they've carved this golf course. And these guys are great. I mean, some of the trouble shots they're making are fantastic. So we'll keep you posted on that. I believe it's like moving to a new channel. And you have to follow it along. But early round action, Colin Morikawa, who I like, and I normally would have picked. I took somebody else on that list. Don't tell me it was Van Ruin. Morikawa. Oh, I took McIlroy over Morikawa. You think that's going to prove to be a mistake? McIlroy. He's even par through 4. Morikawa's 2 ahead.
He'll hang around. I mean,
yeah. That's still undecided. One bad shot here, and you go from 2 under to 6 over. So. No, these guys are amazing out of trouble. I mean, just absolutely incredible. All right, so we'll follow that and many other things. We'll be with you tomorrow, Degenerate Friday. We'll either be crying here right on the show to start things out that all of my guys in the pool have fallen apart and completely done a pratfall and are out of contention. And there goes another $50 up in smoke. All right, thanks to everybody, too, sponsoring the show, Hialeah Park, and, of course, Jimmy Johnson's Big Chill and all of our other fine sponsors, Texas Roadhouse, Catholic Health Services, Justina Testa, and as Tony Segreto would say, on and on. It's the old Stephen Bishop thing. On and on. We go as we make our transition into the next show tomorrow at 7, as we leave you know that.
The time.
It's 9:03.
Let's go to eat a damn snack.
Look what they done to my soul.